What's poppin', people? It's another episode of your favorite podcast, Cigars and Ash. I am one of three, and I can't do it by myself ever. And that is your boy Loco Lou with
artist formerly known as Keith Stash.
Hey, look, I got a pickle now on my shirt.
And he's Pickle Joe.
Pickle Joe.
Just Joe.
Just Joe with a pickle. See if you could give it a tickle. That's what she said.
All right.
Hey,
We'll start off with, ooh, this has a nice little scent to it. Ooh, that's pretty good, man. Anyway.
fucker.
Well, we went to the cigar shop on Saturday. We picked up some cigars, and I held on to this one. And I'm smoking a Camacho 2025 limited edition, which is a Honduran Mexican wrapper, Honduran binder, and some Dominican Honduran filler. And it's supposed to be like a special cigar. It's full.
Special.
It's a full strength Toro.
Okay.
6x52.
Especial. He got the especial.
Especial.
And it tastes pretty interesting also in the first couple puffs.
Yeah, and me and Keith are smoking from his stash, the Camacho.
More Camachos.
Camacho Connecticut wrapper.
Mm-hmm.
Robusto.
Yeah, got a nice scorpion on the logo. A number 2 pencil on the top.
Mine don't have those scorpions.
Infamous since 1962.
To kill the leaves. It's interesting.
I like the logo. It has a very whatchamacallit, construction worker kind of vibe to it, because it has that caution yellow. You got the number 2 pencil on top for all the shit that they got on.
It looks like a Carhartt jacket.
Yeah.
It's like tan and orange.
Or if you look at it from above, it looks like a taxi in New York. Just, the old taxis.
Yeah.
Because they don't make them that color no more. Now they're all Uber and Lyft. And zip cars.
No, they exist just in Manhattan only.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the old ones that have this color. This particular color is like a orange yellow.
Orange yellow?
Mm-hmm.
Orange yellow? Or maybe orange?
Orange?
Yellow orange?
Tangerine.
Tangerine. It looks like...
So, I didn't do my homework. I got ready for my 2-year anniversary with my wife, and
what's more important? He lost focus on what's more important.
I mean, you're already married, so there's not much to prepare for.
What are you celebrating?
It was.
Another year with a ball and chain?
No, another year of me spending money. That's why I'm broke today. Plus,
broke.
I had to buy me a new phone because I broke my shit like a dumbass. And yes, and I had to pay for the hotel and flights for Cancun for my honeymoon. So
Cancun?
He's going on his honeymoon 2 years after his wedding.
Yeah, that's all right.
Because I'm getting pictures, of us.
It's all right because
on the beach and stuff.
Because he got married 8 years after the kid.
Yeah, exactly.
So it works out.
I'm trying to catch up. I'm catching up. All right,
he did shit all backwards. He had the kid first, then he got married, and now he's having the honeymoon.
Hey, listen,
Listen, you got to taste the goods first, and if the goods is that good, then you lay it in.
Whatever the order is, I'm like, it's on your list. It's like, that's what I could do later.
Yeah, somehow I could do. I can work it somehow. It's all right.
Yeah,
that's all right, bro.
Wash the dishes, mow the lawn,
get married,
honeymoon,
take out the trash,
money, honeymoon, marriage. Kid. Marriage, honeymoon. Okay.
Speaking of which, honeymoon is
he was dyslexic
and stuff like
he
that.
He read it reverse. He was dyslexic.
That's exactly what it was. I'm dyslexic as fuck.
He's like, oh shit, we supposed to get married first, not have the kid and then.
Yeah. But anyway, I gotta talk to you about Florida or LA. See what we're gonna do. If we
we're doing the law.
Yeah, if we do the law.
We're doing the land, not the world.
Depending.
We're doing the land, not the world.
Because I want to see so much of the differences and what's different, because we always go to anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the difference is it's just one place. It's not 5 different places.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you also have Universal there. That's going to be a big
bigger
deal,
and that's the one we're really looking forward to.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more on that and expand on that. But other than that, man, work has been a pain in the
So they're talking about Disney and family stuff, and I'm just sitting here having a drink because none of that affects me.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But it's nice to have Keith back from his
Oh yeah, he was on vacation.
smoking stogies without us, chilling, relaxing, enjoying the heat.
Yep.
Enjoying the heat or the rain.
The rain.
Oh, the rain. Yeah, that's right. He's in
every
hurricane
day,
season.
every day it rained, and I was like, well, whatever. Okay, rain. Jump in the pool.
Jump out the pool.
Jump out the pool. Let it rain again. Jump back in the pool. Good stuff.
Rain.
But the point is, you got to relax, though, right?
I did a fair amount of relaxing. Yes, I was very relaxed.
He did nothing but relax.
That's perfectly fine.
I did absolutely not a damn thing.
Or the bare minimum.
The bare minimum.
The bare minimum. He ate,
You know.
he shat, and he slept.
Yeah,
Bare minimum.
So that's on you. What did you do this past 2 weeks?
I did shit. No.
Well, you did. We did hang out and smoke at.
So last Wednesday, since we didn't record because this guy was out, we went to Mom's, not Maestro's, and we hung out there for a bit. And then
We didn't go to Maestro's.
no, I should say we went to Mom's instead of Maestro's.
Oh, okay.
And then Friday I had BBQ for July 4th. And then Saturday,
and all
yeah,
that.
you're good. I mean, yeah, why not? We had Eagle flew. Funny enough, Eagle flew over where we were barbecuing. They were like, "Look at Eagle!" I was like, "It's back."
Because
Oh, nice.
America.
He knew.
Miracle.
He knew.
Yes. Whenever someone lights a grill, turns on a grill on 4th of July, the eagle appears.
And Eagle appears what it is, right? It came over because there's a couple around the area. I've taken pictures and stuff, so it actually appeared. I was like, "Hey!" Saturday I did another queue for the in-laws.
Okay.
Which turns out that one in-law didn't come because they don't like the other in-law because they're not together. And it's stupid.
Wow.
So I got left with a ton of food that I had to dump out. So much food I had to dump out. But Pam's sister shows up and then with her kids, and she did that Ozempic joint, that Wegovy. Yeah, you could hardly recognize her. I was like, holy shit! I was like, did they get a nanny? And I go outside and it's her, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "You lost a lot of weight." That's what she told me. She was like, "Oh yeah, I did the Wegovy, just did the shots." She goes, "I didn't even exercise. It took me a long time." And I was like, "Well, I haven't seen you in a long time, so."
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's supposed to be like 6 months is like where you see the results because it's.
Oh yeah, but if you exercise, you lose more weight.
Yeah, it's an appetite. It's basically suppresses your appetite. That's all it does.
And the thing is, for me, talking to the doc about it, it would help with my liver, meaning that if it stops being a fatty liver, I could actually start doing that again.
He's talking about drink.
About drinking. I'll probably be like one of those the kids first starting to drink when they touch the drink again.
He's like
one cup and I'll get smashed.
He's gonna have a little sip. How do I take this? It's a shot. How do I take this?
Like, oh, it burns.
It burns.
But I mean, so Saturday the
should
chat.
fuck him up with some tequila shots.
Nah, I'm never doing tequila again. I got a story on that.
Oh shit! Story time.
Never
do
again,
tequila again.
My uncle, the one that's coming this weekend. Oh
yeah, he's coming. Okay, great.
Yeah, so Saturday we're doing the barbecue, but my daughter has a birthday party, so I'm just gonna drop my wife off and be like, I'm gonna be with family. Just call me when it's done. But we're having a barbecue because he said so. He called me. He was like, "Hey, Joe, something's wrong with my Fire Stick because I'm his fucking tech support." And then he goes, "Oh, by the way, I'm going up there, so barbecue this weekend." I said, "Okay,
all right."
But
I'll make myself available.
Yeah, I told you. I'll let you know, man. So you can come up. He asked about you. Oh, Keith can come around. I said, I'll let him know. He said, yeah. Last time we spoke. But
the little side note, like I'm not exactly antisocial. I'm selectively social.
Yes, this is true.
And it amazes me how people ask about me and I never ask about them. Not to be
you took apart his guns and cleaned them. Of course, he's gonna ask about you.
Not to be rude about anything, but it's like
I won't be surprised if he brought his guns up just so you can clean them.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And that's why he's asking if you're around.
He's gonna run guns across state lines just so I can clean them.
So you can clean them.
But it's like for me, it's you know, I don't think that I'm so fantastic that people like actually like to hang out with me, and it surprises me when people are like, "Oh, where's Keith?"
Well, Keith, you got to give yourself some credit, man. You got a personality that some people don't. They're just a cardboard cutout. So you have a personality.
So I'm gonna great head. I mean, I'm gonna
step up.
Damn,
I'm gonna step up from cardboard.
You hear this guy?
I heard it. I did. I'm gonna step up from cardboard, and yes, that's what she said.
I surely did.
So last week when the fool over here was smoking with me, he had his ash all the way up almost halfway.
Dude, more than halfway, bro. I'm so mad.
A little bit more than halfway, right? And he was like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. He puts his elbow down, boom, ash everywhere on his thigh.
But first, I saw it wobbling, right? So I remember I went toward the thing to edge and shook it a little bit, and it was solid. So I was like, "Oh, it's solid, so it's good."
As soon as he,
and then we started talking, and I was like that, it just said. And then now
that little bit of shit gave it enough.
House of Cards just fell out.
Yeah, but when it hit the couch, it wasn't just like a lump. No, the thing was like
it shattered. It shattered, bro.
It shattered. It just disintegrated, like just dust everywhere.
Like I notice it after the fact. Like I don't intentionally think I'm gonna go for the long ash, and then like I end up smoking. I'm like, oh, okay, it started to hold together because when I was down in Florida, I was like, oh, okay, whatever I was smoking, I think it was a Romeo and Julieta, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then, but then you gotta, when you try to smoke it, you're basically smoking it like a chimney.
Like a chimney,
you know, you gotta hold it straight up. I'm like, screw this. I'm just gonna fucking.
I gotta give you the corn pipe, the Popeye's pipe.
Right.
So that way
I can stick it in the pipe and then use the stem.
It. Yeah.
You haven't seen?
I still have my pipe.
You haven't seen the competition they have in Cuba for ashing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta
the way everybody's holding it straight up, and everybody's like,
yeah. I'm like, I'd rather just enjoy it. I don't care, but it's cool.
Yeah, man. So he's coming. So my uncle's coming, and the story is that we had a birthday party for him at 718.
At 718?
And that's a club that doesn't exist anymore in the Bronx.
Oh, okay.
But 718, after a certain time, it was a 30 and over club. So you couldn't go in if you were under 30.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it was like an older people's club. So the
old heads.
I was over 30, and he comes to the club and goes, "No one's drinking water tonight." And we were like, "What?" And he goes, "No one's drinking water tonight." He goes, "No one's allowed to drink water tonight."
Is this the tequila story?
Did he make lemonade? What? I don't know.
It's a tequila story. He went to the bartender. Nobody here is drinking water. And then people bought him bottles of tequila. So that's what we were all drinking, is tequila all night.
Oh,
tequila to the point where, my brother was the first one to go. He went with my cousin. He was going home. He forgot his keys.
Fuck.
And I told him, yo, here's my keys. Right? Just make sure you pay attention that when I go home, I'm going to need someone to open the door for me. Yeah. I said, okay. So I partied. And then I started passing around. I was sitting down. And funny thing, I remember this shit. It's just like, I was like drunk and I still remember shit. And the monster was like, yo, he needs to go home. I was like, yeah, let me go home. So they put me in a cab and I go home. I get out. I don't remember if I gave Cabby the right amount of money. I just threw money at him. So that guy probably made off good that night. Yeah. He's like $100 to go fucking 3 blocks.
He's like 10 blocks. He threw him $100 bill.
Dude, I go up, I call my brother, he don't answer the phone. And I'm calling him over and over, and he don't answer the phone. And everything's fucking spinning. I could hardly walk. Everything's fucking, I'm like, I think this is the right floor. I get off, and I start knocking on the door. I'm like, Dave, and I start calling him, he don't answer, and then I pass out on the floor.
Oh,
I open my eyes, it's 2 fucking cops. Yo, you live here? And I'm like, yeah, right here. And they knock on the door. It was the wrong door. That was my neighbor's door I was on. And my neighbor opened it, and I fell backward. I looked at him, and I said, oh, shit, I don't live here. I live across, right over there. The fucking brother had his phone on vibrate.
Oh, silent. My God.
And he fell the fuck asleep. So when they asked the door, as soon as I got in, I just rushed in and went to bed. And the next day, I chewed him out. But I had so much tequila that the next time I had tequila,
it hit you hard.
To
throw up.
Yeah, I took
nauseous.
it. We were like, I took it, and I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I get up, I just bathroom and just, and ever since then I'm like, I can't.
No
do tequila.
Okay.
That smell fucks me up.
Wow.
That's how bad it was with tequila.
Well, that's what happened to me with Jaeger. Jaeger bombs.
Jaeger bombs. Oh man, the douchebag shot. The douchebag drink.
Shit. Yeah. So I drank so much of it that when I went to throw up, nothing came out. It was like molasses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. That's fucking Jaeger. Jaeger's thick.
Well, Jaeger is molasses, right? You know,
Fucking molasses is like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that with Red Bull, right? Like with the Red Bull.
Oh yeah, with Red Bull
or Monster, whichever one is. Man, it's any drink.
Yeah, most of it's Red Bull, and they're like,
there's any alcohol. You're fucking. Is a kryptonite for you?
Well, no, not really. I mean, damn. Okay, so in my former life, you know, I used to be a rite of passage. You know, it's a personal pride that I used to go shot for shot with 151.
Ooh.
So, you know, like we used to. I used to call the game, you know, we kind of just made up the game. It really wasn't nothing. We just call it a pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
So you line up 6 shots of whatever you think of, and you have to fucking throw them back and try to stack the glasses into a pyramid. But for some reason, I ended up with 151. So I, you know, like after about 6 of them, after, you know, you're kind of like real freaking loopy, extra loopy. You know, and then I'm not admitting to anything else.
He slept with 3 guys that day. No, but 2 women and a lady boy.
International kiss.
Hey, you know,
Joe.
As long as it's tops or bottoms, you got to pick one.
Joe, international kiss your best friend day.
Kiss your homies, bro.
Kiss your homies day.
Yeah, man. It was National Kiss Your Homies Day on Monday.
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
and everybody wanted to be shy about it. Put it up. Everybody's like, no, I'm not. I was like, it's not gay, man. It's Kiss Your Homies Day.
Yeah, kiss your homies,
show me you love him.
Sure.
Yeah, we was coming up into the apartment. We're walking by, a lady's opening the door or whatever. My hand hits his hand. He's like, yo, stop trying to hold my hand. I'm like, well, what can I say? I missed you. I had him choking. He couldn't say nothing. You know how he's quick with his rebuttals? He couldn't say nothing. Then the first thing that came up was this. It's International Kiss Your Best Friend Day. I'm like, what the fuck you think I'm going to do?
It's okay to share your feelings.
But it's because it's why I don't usually expect that answer. Usually it's like, ew. You know it always is. Oh,
don't deny your love.
The woman in front of us was listening to it. She was laughing.
Yeah, I had that.
She was pretending she was on the phone.
Joey.
Yeah.
She was pretending. It was her. What's fucking cable guy?
Cable guy. Oh, Billy.
Billy.
Oh my God. Yo, that's a movie that they cannot remake and it be the same.
No, I don't think they can remake any Jim Carrey movie.
Anything before 2000. I would even say before 2010. They cannot remake. I mean,
they're remaking Naked Gun.
Well, yeah. I mean,
well, that's an anthology. It's a continuation. It's not a remake.
Well,
I know. It's a soft reboot because it's new characters. But yeah,
it's the same. What it is. I'm talking about.
It's an anthology.
Like you go in, if you don't know, obviously, I mean, it's new for whoever's going to watch it now because the last one came out, in the late 90s?
I don't know, Nicole Smith was still alive, yeah, Naked Gun, right? 33 and a half.
And then...
Yeah, man, come on.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I just saw something...
33
and 34. 84.
94.
94, right.
Was the last Naked Gun.
But I just saw, I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw it on a few posts that they're putting... like a trigger warning label on network television.
That's how old we are.
For get this, for Rush Hour.
Yeah,
well, that's not the only one. To be honest,
that's not the only one.
You know what I was watching?
I'm sure it's not the only one, but
yesterday?
it like shocked me.
You know what I watched yesterday? The Whitest Kids You Know. It was on Amazon. That has a warning too.
The Whitest Kid You Know.
Yeah, Whitest Kids You Know. That had
I don't know.
It was a comedy. Wow, you don't know? Ooh.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a
I'm thinking like
show.
Malibu's Most Wanted. Like
no, it's a comedy sketch show.
Oh, okay, that's why. It's like a comedy sketch show.
The very first episode was about Hitler rapping.
Oh.
so like off the bat, they went off the bat.
You're right, Joe. There shouldn't be warnings on that one.
But it was about Hitler saying that he loves Jews now.
Oh.
That's what he was saying. But I mean, like I said, we're gonna have a
canceled.
We're gonna have a content warning. Like, yo, Zach, put a content warning in front of this one.
Right after.
Right. No, he could put it before.
No, just put a whole banner across the whole thing, like it's
Contains
red
sensitive
tape.
material.
Just scrolling. So, you might be offended.
You know,
Well, here's the thing.
That's what their banner said. It was like, "Oh, please don't be offended. This was just something we made at a time
Right.
that was more acceptable, whatever." And he goes, "Hope you don't cancel." He goes, "Hope you don't cancel us for our little plays, but they can't be canceled because the show's done and one of them is dead."
Nah, listen. Here's the thing that I don't like. I don't like the fact that you have to tell people to don't be offended on something that's meant to be humorous, comedy.
Well, I mean, they don't.
Comedy is subjective.
The banners
yeah.
aren't saying don't be offended, but the banners are just saying, hey, you might be offended. But we're gonna play it as is because it's what it is. It's the point is it's because it's comedy and comedy is subjective.
Yeah,
they're just putting the banner
but you have
save
to go
their
in.
ass, bro. Really, it's to save their ass. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but the thing is this: comedy never had that.
Or it takes. Ooh, dude, I've seen
Jerky Boys.
No, yeah, true.
Comedy have that before. I had that. I mean, when you buy albums and stuff, it straight up has the
they had
adult ratings.
Adult ratings.
But that's what that is.
Thank you, Tipper Gore, for creating the PMRC, the parental guidance, something, whatever
guidelines.
But that's the whole point. That's what that is. That's the warning. Saying, hey, this is an adult thing. That's the warning.
Yeah, mature material stuff like that. But if you're not mature enough to take a joke, you shouldn't be watching comedy. I'm just saying.
Let them watch it if they get offended. The worst they should do if they get offended is stop it and don't listen to more.
So
the worst thing they could do is fucking complain about it, which they do, and like, you were offended,
right?
Okay,
but
tomorrow you're still gonna go to work. You're still gonna go home. You're still gonna do your Pilates or whatever the fuck you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. Joe, there's something you want to tell us?
The whole
so you want to tell us? You mentioned Pilates. You
I
do
wish I can't, man. I can't even touch my toes. What are you talking about?
Shit.
Well, I mean, that's for different reasons. You remember what happened last time you touched your toes?
All the boys came to the yard, man.
All the boys came to the yard.
Not my fault.
But the thing about comedy, yeah, it's absolutely subjective. But there's a difference in understanding of something being offensive and then you being offended.
Yes,
it can be offensive and funny, and if you're offended, it's because you're personalizing it. Because no
so
comedian.
The Hitler singing is offensive.
Yeah,
but Rush Hour isn't. Is what you're saying.
Yeah. So the thing is,
no, man. It's South Park said it the best. It's either all okay or none of it is.
So,
yeah. It's South Park said it. You know, that was the time when they had the whole Muhammad issue, and Comedy Central didn't want them to display him no more. And they made this whole episode about it, and the whole time they were saying the same thing. They were like, "It's comedy, dude. It's either all okay,
or it's not,
or none of it is. You can't say this is okay, but this isn't. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. It's like I'm not gonna crack jokes on this group and not crack jokes on that group.
Yeah,
you know,
it's either all okay,
all fair game,
or it isn't. That's the best thing they ever said.
Which brings me to one thing that we have to see together.
Okay,
I already told my wife this is no exceptions. There's no exceptions to this. You're not watching it with me. Penelope's not watching it with me. My daughter. None of you are gonna go see this with me because you have no qualms. You have no interest in the first film. We're gonna go see Spaceballs.
Oh yeah, of course.
And imagine.
But is it if it is going to be a theatrical release? If not, we're going to freaking stream it.
I guess we might stream it. I think it's was it a Prime or a Netflix thing,
bro? And I think we should do a play-by-play, if that's the case.
No, listen.
But Josh Gad is going to be Barf Jr.
Listen, you know, when it comes to Mel Brooks movies, okay, if you can survive Blazing Saddles,
oh my god,
then you're fine.
Yes,
you know, as funny as it is, you know, that's the barometer. That's like the litmus test of.
Hey guys, look what I have here. Where the white women at? It's the old lady when he walks into town. That's our he's and then boom. It's just the N word drops.
Right.
And it's just like
it's the gong goes off every time when they try to say the word. It's and it was written. Who helped write it and who's supposed to be in that movie was Richard Pryor. So if you know Richard Pryor's comedy,
Oh
you
my
know
God.
you know what Blazing Saddles is about. Okay, that and Mel Brooks, come on. But
Comedy gold.
no, it's
You said Richard
it's,
Pryor. Yeah,
it's in the I think it's in the top 10 of AFI, the American Film Institute, like where they preserve movie.
Film. Yeah.
I think it came out in 1974. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't have Richard Pryor, but it did have Gene Wilder, which is a hell of a fucking actor, man.
Oh man,
Gene Wilder was a hell of an actor, man.
dude. You know.
Harvey Korman, fucking Slim Pickens, Dominic
Now-
Louise.
Now, since I'm alive, and we're gonna see Spaceballs 2, and we never thought we was gonna see another Ghostbusters, proper Ghostbusters, right? And
It's two. Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
What?
I'm so tired.
what do you guys think about
Yeah,
remakes?
it's ranked number 6 on the AFI list.
Oh my God, 6 is awesome.
Yeah,
come on,
among
man.
the greatest film comedies.
Sorry, it was, dude. It's hard to move on from that because it's such a good movie.
Yeah, but what do you think about remakes? Like, do you think all remakes are bad, or do you think some remakes are tasteful, or you think they're good for the time? What do you think?
Okay, so there hasn't. I mean, there has been several remakes, and when you talk about remakes that we may have seen, that like in the 80s, were remakes of something that was in the 40s, right? It's always been like 20 to 40 years.
Dracula, Frankenstein,
Right,
the
you
Mummy.
know. So you got the Universal monsters, the classic monsters. You know, you can take the premise, the concept of the character, and then expand on it, or tell a different story or a different origin. But as far as remakes, like Ocean's 11 was a remake,
Yeah,
right?
James
George
Bond.
right? George Clooney, all the James Bonds, right? George Clooney with the Ocean's 11, all three of them were. The first one was a remake, and then the other two were a continuation of their story. It wasn't based on the original with Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Then you've got I don't know if you guys ever seen the Thomas Crown Affair with Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan, yeah.
Right, that was a remake. I watched both of them. Obviously, the newer one is more to my liking, only because of the, it's more in my time. But it's still pretty good. As far as the direct copies, I mean,
You got
you look
said
at
Little Shop of Horrors was
right
a remake as well.
Was a stage show, right? You
See,
you
I
had
think
you had like RoboCop is a remake.
The Blob.
RoboCop is a remake
Yeah,
from what?
the original one.
Oh, you're talking about the other RoboCop. Oh,
Right,
yeah, that's
yeah.
right. That's right.
You know,
Oh, the most recent.
The
one.
most recent one for
recent one.
2014.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my take. Because I just saw a trailer for something that I thought was really cool, but it's another remake of Arnold's movie without Arnold in it.
The Running Man.
Running
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that film so far as the trailer goes?
I
saw
haven't
it.
seen the trailer. I've
Okay.
heard about it. I haven't seen the trailer yet.
I saw it. It's, I mean, it's just a trailer, so I'm just gonna say it looks more like it's kind of like a, Catch Me If You Can kind of thing, right? Not necessarily referencing, Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks, but it's the chase, it's him avoiding getting caught, and I think that it's. I don't know if this is how they're going to set up that the back third of the movie is going to be the actual Running Man game, and the most.
Or you think it's like more of like a prequel kind of thing where it's the setup to the game.
Well, they reference the games in the trailer.
In the trailer, when you see
Right.
it still
It's hard
goes
to see
through.
a trailer because that could be the ending.
No,
Right.
because here's the thing. If you remember the first Running Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger was a military man, and he got set up. And in that setup, he got knocked out, and then ended up in the Running Man TV show without, warning. It was
Right.
like straight
Yeah.
up, you're gonna play this game regardless.
Well, yeah, because he disobeyed the thing. There was kind of like a little mutiny he didn't want to obey an order. They knocked him out. He ended up in like a military camp prison or something, and then he escaped, and then he got the fact that he got caught as a fugitive, like kind of like a bail bond kind of thing. He got caught, and they gave him the option of being in this game. I don't know if this. I only saw the trailer once of the new one. I don't know if they're going that same route, but it looks more like him evading capture.
Yeah.
For the majority of the movie, at least the way the trailer was cut.
Like at least the first half.
Yeah.
At least the first half.
So we got this, right? We got this. Now, looking back at another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that was remade,
Total Recall.
I mean, it wasn't that great. I would say it was a mid movie. The best, to be honest, the best part of that movie was freaking Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale.
She was like a sexy Terminator.
Yeah.
Where it was just like elevator crash, shit blew up, and she like jumps out the fire. You're like, how the fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn, she's hot. But there was like a fear boner.
Good God.
But I mean, it was a mid movie. So I mean, seeing something like that, what's your expectations for The Running Man?
Yeah, cause see, the thing is, movies are made for the time that they're in, right? For
the most part.
For the most part, like, I'm not talking about like when you're doing a western, like Unforgiven
or period piece,
or Young Guns or Tombstone, like
Westerns.
Quick of the Dead. Like it came out in the '90s and the 2000s, but it was about the Old West, right? But
those movies in the '80s, holy shit.
Yeah.
But like even though it was made today modern, right? Maybe the dialogue and some of the script is more attuned to current day, but it's based in the Old West. But with the old, with remakes, like what we see today, you have to appeal to our audience now. So the thing with the one that everybody harps on is Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
So the alternate cast Ghostbusters. Everyone harped on it because they.
What you mean the one that doesn't exist?
The one that shouldn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You may not know.
Okay.
I don't know. All I know it was Ghostbusters.
Right.
Ghostbusters 2. Then you got what? Frozen Empire.
Afterlife.
I mean,
Afterlife and Frozen Empire.
That's all I remember.
Right.
I don't remember nothing else.
Exactly. Yes. So
exactly. Like he said.
I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
So there's a difference of taking the title of a movie and the intellectual property and going a completely different direction versus like what there's at least the way I visualize it. There's a complete reboot, right? Which is what that was, the one that shall remain nameless was. There's a continuation of the story, like, so you're continuing the story from 20, 30, 40 years ago, whatever, or you're doing a homage, right? What I think that the Ghostbuster Afterlife did that was great was they did the second two. They did the continuation of the story and they did the homage to the original. Because you had all the original elements of Gozer, you had the Terror Dogs.
It was the story was it was like a continuation of Gozer.
Right. And the homage was all the throwbacks of like, the Marshmallow, Stay Puffs.
I mean, spoilers if you haven't seen it.
I mean, if you haven't seen it, whatever, it's on cable now. I mean,
it's been years.
Go cry in your hat and go watch it on TV.
Yeah,
okay?
Pretty much.
Like the thing with I think it's 2016 is when that Ghostbusters came out, right? The female.
Oh, the one you're not talking about?
Yeah, no, to be serious, what I didn't like
Answer the call.
What I didn't like about it is it was too try hard. It had because a lot of people are like, oh, because of the females. I go, honestly, it had to do with the females. The cast was great. Those are all great comedians.
They are fantastic.
Great comedians. But
Kate McKinnon, hilarious, and everything else she's done.
Yes,
dude.
Yes, and everything else she's done.
They're pretty much all from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, they're all SNL characters, which makes sense. But
I call it. Look at the cast, dude. The cast was Melissa McCarthy. She's funny. We all know she's funny. Kristen Wiig is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon, Leslie Jones, all Saturday Night Live. I call it alumni.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a great cast, right? Now the thing was too try hard with the different, instead of just like sticking to the proton packs, they wanted to do all this other type of stuff, and you know,
Proton boxing gloves.
yeah, and then proton this, proton that. It was like, okay, you know, and then I was talking to my wife about it. You had Chris Hemsworth, he's the eye candy, and I get it, right? But Janine was an eye candy. I mean, as a kid, I thought Janine was a crush as a kid, but she wasn't just eye candy. She was witty. She was smart.
Well, they didn't know. Sigourney Weaver was supposed to be the eye candy.
She is, but Sigourney wasn't stupid.
No,
and wasn't aloof and silly.
No.
She was smart and independent and intelligent because she lived on her own. She was a cellist. She was what they call an 80s woman.
Yeah,
you know, back then with the 80s woman, you know, she worked, she did her shit, and she had a nice apartment. Then you have them bringing in Chris Hemsworth, and he was just like a big dummy. And it was just like, and people were like, oh, well, the Ghostbusters had eye candy. I go, they did, but they weren't dumb and silly and goofy. Like, and you know, I was like,
I mean, it's similar and different at the same time because, like, you look at the chemistry that that Ivan Reitman had. You know, Ivan Reitman that directed it, right? But you also had Harold Ramis and goddamn what I'm blanking on his name, Bill Murray. Yeah. You know, they did other movies together already. Oh, yeah. Ivan Reitman already, they did Stripes together.
Stripes is one of the most
I can watch Stripes all the time.
Yeah,
every time
you know, but also Harold Ramis and Bill Murray were already in Groundlings and Second City, you know, improv group in Chicago. They did Saturday Night Live together. So they have that camaraderie, right? And that interplay between them, which I think they tried to do because, like, oh, these people are from Saturday Night Live also. But I don't know. It was, and this is me. Hate me if you want. At me at the comments.
I hate you.
All right.
Hate you already.
You know, but they tried to recreate that, but still give each and every one like a spotlight. No one had a spotlight in the original.
No, they all shared it because they always played off each other.
Right.
They played off of each other, and I see what you're talking about. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying it was a try hard. It was too try hard. Like they were really trying hard to stand out when they could have. They didn't have to try hard. They could have played into the Ghostbusters lore and stuck it out and been fine. I think it would have been fine. I go again. It's if I felt like, you know, they had each one had a badass moment with all the ghosts and I was like, all right, you know, all right, I get it. But
what made me want to watch it, and what I think a lot of people went through when they wanted to go watch it, is that they were excited to see it because they had, you know, they like the franchise of Ghostbusters. They went in and it was like, this is this is great. Finally, a new Ghostbusters, and you know, Dan Aykroyd was loosely associated with it, so there was a feeling that it was going to be a tribute to the original, and then it ended up not being. And I feel like they kind of pulled the wool over our eyes as far as, you know, oh, it's coming out, we're excited. Our generation was excited to see it because it's been 20, 30 years. And they was like, oh, well, yeah, sorry, we just used the name and the likenesses.
Yeah, we thought it was a passing of the mantle.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, like I said, because a lot of people
would have been great.
People will argue about it. It had nothing to do with them being female.
Right.
It literally had nothing. It could have been all female. Still been a great movie.
Yeah.
Man, look at Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids was hilarious.
Was fucking great. That's what I'm talking about. And half the cast was in Bridesmaids. That's what it is. And instead of playing on each other, they weren't doing that. They were all doing their own thing. So it was all their own thing. Instead of playing on each other like the original Ghostbusters did. They constantly played on each other. They joked on each other. They trashed each other. And it wasn't like that.
And you know what was another thing that a lot of people, including myself, had a complaint about? It took them to do the elevator scene. It took them damn near a whole minute to do what they did in 35 seconds to make it funny. With the proton pack in the elevator.
Yeah.
Switch me on. like,
and they kind of like
move over like that's gonna do something.
They shy it away because it's like, you know, fucking the nuclear pack on your back.
They never tested it. Tested it.
This was great though. I mean, like I said, it could have been good. I joke around. I'm like, oh, that movie is not, you know. But I always do that just to mess around. But it could have been a good movie. It's just a lot of things. It was too try hard. And again, what threw me off was where they had the eye candy, but he acted stupid and you know, he's my secretary. What's a phone? And he's picking up the toaster and some stupid shit. And you're like, come on.
You know, there was.
Well, like Janine was not. Janine ran. Sorry, if they didn't have Janine, the Ghostbusters couldn't function the way they did. She's the one that answered the phones, had them going to the calls, and dealt with their
billing.
With their money. Yeah, she did everything. She was the center of everything.
Here's the key to a great movie: you have to have a fantastic secretary.
Fantastic secretary, but it's the truth. It's the truth. That's how she was.
Yeah.
And they didn't have
Ghostbusters. What do you want?
Yeah. Oh, look, he's shirtless, and I'm like, okay.
Well,
I mean, it's still
the one thing
Chris
that I
Hemsworth, so you're like, yeah, look at the cum gutters on that guy. But
the one thing that it was one of the stupidest little things that I still think is hilarious that I remember is like, he's wearing glasses and he's like, oh no, and there's no lenses in the glasses. And he puts his finger through the lenses. That was kind of silly, funny to me, but the rest of the movie was like, okay.
But it's funny, but it's just that he was like that the whole time.
He was like.
See, but one thing I did like about the movie, we get the reference to what was his name, Ralph, the ghost. That is the ghost. Randall or something like that.
Something, yeah.
So Randy. No, he's the ghost. He's the ghost for the No Ghost logo, which makes sense.
Okay,
I get that, but here's one thing that Ghostbusters did to me as a kid, even though I enjoyed the movie, the jump scares. We didn't get the jump scares, bro.
Yeah.
Because think about it. When you saw the librarian ghost... Rowan, sorry. Yeah. I knew it started with an R.
Yeah, you're right.
The librarian, yeah.
The librarian ghost. Like, we saw the
Slimer in the hotel coming down the hallway.
That was scary because we never seen those effects before. It was brand spanking new. Now they give us updated effects, and you are legitimately pulled away from the film. You're not immersed in it anymore. And that's was my takeaway. I'm like, okay, I'm not scared. I'm not jumping. You know when I did jump, I saw Nosferatu last night with my wife.
I still haven't seen it. I mean,
bro, that shit got me. I was like this watching the movie, and there was a jump scare. I was like, oh shit, I wasn't ready for that. My wife laughed.
Okay, so
because she was scrolling on Instagram.
In the idea of Nosferatu, right? Obviously, the Legend of Dracula. There's 15 different versions,
that's
right?
German,
right? The last the last voyage of the Demeter was really good.
That I wanted to see. That's the one where Dracula's supposed to be inside the ship, right?
Yes.
I wanted to see that.
That's the whole thing where they talk about that the ship comes to shore and there was nobody on the ship.
Yeah.
And so it's the events that happen on the ship.
Right. So that was really good. I said it in a prior podcast. I think one of our first or second ones, we were talking about classic horror and so on. Me personally, I like Dracula 2000.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because of and even the other day I watched Sinners. Right. So the legend and the key points of the Dracula legend: silver, garlic, sunlight, the stake through the heart, that kind of stuff. Right. And again, spoiler, whatever, go watch it. It's like 25 years old, okay? Because it literally is Dracula 2000, okay?
Ain't that the one with vitamin C in it?
Oh, I think, whatever.
The singer?
I don't remember.
Hey, you. You're losing.
Yeah.
You're losing.
But the way they played on the origin, because Gerard Butler is in it, right? He was Dracula.
Yeah.
The way they played on it, the way they explained how he became who he was, is that Dracula was actually Judas.
It was Judas, yeah.
Judas, yeah.
And the reason why he's allergic to silver is because he betrayed Jesus because of silver, and he hung himself, and it was the sunlight. From the next morning when he was hanging, that's why he has an aversion to sunlight.
Yeah,
that was really interesting to me. I was like, bravo.
That was a good twist.
That was a good twist.
When you find out, does they show the tree and where he hung himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's on I call it. It was on Sunset.
Yeah.
So that's a whole thing. That's why the sun it burns him too.
Yeah.
So the sun burns him, but the way he hung himself.
Yeah.
And
See,
with the sun and all that stuff, and then the silver pieces is why
Right.
he's allergic to silver.
So those are interesting things in remakes or reimaginings that make movies interesting and worth watching. Is a new take, not like you can do a homage. Like I said, Ghostbusters Afterlife I feel was an homage and a continuation. You can do an homage. You can do a reimagining. And take your own path with it without knocking the original.
Yeah,
right?
and that's what that was.
And Ghostbusters, the other Ghostbusters was kind of knocking the original. They gave us cameos just to keep us happy.
Yeah.
Because you had, Dan Aykroyd was in it as
Bill
like a
Murray.
cab driver. And
Bill Murray,
Ernie
Hudson.
Hudson was like
Ernie
the
Hudson,
uncle that gave them the car, and he worked, so you can't have Ernie Hudson in a Ghostbusters movie.
Ernie Hudson was in it, but he
And-
was the photo in the university.
No, but he was at the end. At the end, like
He was Leslie Jones' uncle, or whatever.
Oh, that's what it was.
That gave, right.
So no, I'm thinking of
With the hearse that they gave him the hearse.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, that's Ernie Hudson who did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ernie Hudson.
I'm not thinking of Ernie Hudson. I'm thinking about this guy. He passed.
Harold
Ramis.
Harold Ramis. Harold
okay,
Ramis.
yeah.
They had his picture in the university.
Yeah.
So that's
So
how they
those
squeezed him
was
in.
like the little cameos that like just kept us interested.
Oh no, it was a statue. Sorry.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is that that Ghostbusters could have led into Afterlife just fine.
Yeah, it could
Because at
have.
the end of the movie, at the end of the credits, they're doing an EVP session. And what words do you hear come out from the EVP session?
Gozer. Zool.
Zool.
Oh,
yeah.
it was Zool.
Yeah.
Zool. So it could have led right to Afterlife because that's pretty much what they were dealing with.
So
with Gozar.
Yeah.
If I was part of the studio and it worked a different way, I would say that you can do like kind of what Ernie Hudson's character did in the movie was like he was he became the R&D and the funding for like newer projects, and it could have been like Ghostbusters Incorporated where they had like a
Like
franchisee,
Extreme Ghostbusters.
That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
like
They
you
could
had
have done that. And it still would have played well.
it would have been a franchisee where like the headquarters was the original in New York, and then whatever. To get back on the Dracula point, I just remembered another one that was with Ethan Hawke
Oh yeah.
and William Dafoe.
William Dafoe, yeah.
Daybreakers.
Daybreakers.
Oh my god, I haven't seen that in a while.
So good. So because it like there's certain things like it's part of like pop culture ethos, and then you're like, okay, have fun with it, give me a different take. That was a great movie, I think.
Yeah.
Different take. One of the best takes
Like
of Dracula was a Mel Brooks movie.
Dead and Loving It? No.
Yeah, Dead and Loving It.
Dead and Loving
Dead and
It.
Loving was a Mel Brooks movie.
That was a Mel Brooks movie? Oh.
Yeah.
You know
I mean,
what?
because Leslie Nielsen was in it. I didn't
It was
remember that Mel
a
Brooks
remake
did it.
of the original Dracula, and then they just
Went off the rails.
they
with that.
satired, they did complete satirical, and the parody they were doing was all fucking that.
You know, there's a movie I want to see remade, and Bruce Willis was in it. He wasn't, this is like at the height of Die Hard and whatnot. You know what I mean? I think after Die Hard 2, or going into it was going in after Die Hard 2, right after it. So, Death becomes her.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yes,
Dude, if they were to do that now, and instead of having it being 2 women, have it a bunch of women, right? And having to work on everybody for such a long time, that would be a concept where it's like, okay, the person who knows how to do it did the only thing you can do when you have a secret. You don't get something patented
Yeah.
and someone steals your stuff. What happens when no one knows how to handle it better than you? to handle the secret of eternal life. You
I
know,
mean, it's-
that's crazy. That would be a crazy movie to redo. I would love to see them redo that movie because it was like quirky horror, but it was more of taboo stuff.
Because Bruce Willis did, he did romantic comedy, so it was like a little bit more of his comedy
it was
thing.
a fantasy comedy kind of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it played on the whole thing of people who want to stay young looking and beautiful forever.
Yeah, vanity.
So this became vanity, and so this was like the literal sense of vanity because you took something to stay beautiful. And you remember they go to the party, freaking Elvis is there, and all these people that were supposed to be dead are there, because they had to fake their death because they were just staying young forever. So I mean, the woman that gives them the thing, she looked like she was Egyptian. I don't know if they were trying to do like she was like Cleopatra
or whatever. Yeah.
But that would be a movie I would like to see.
So let's see other remakes. Well, okay. First off, let's talk about remakes that will never and should never be remade. My go-to favorite, Back to the Future.
Man, as Zemeckis said, he'll never sell the rights.
They'll never sell the rights.
Bob Gale and Zemeckis, Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale are never gonna sell the rights. Then.
Yeah, that right there is like that should never.
And
be
they were
remade.
asked, so it wasn't like they weren't. They said they were asked plenty of times, and they were like, nope.
Because the thing is like to have, there's a few like near perfect trilogies, right? Usually there's like there's always like the sophomore slump where the second one doesn't do as good as the first one, right? This was great. Arguably some people will say no, but arguably all three of them were great.
No, I think all three were great. Second one not so, but to be honest, I thought the third one really hit it out the park.
Yeah.
That with the whole Western theme and everything, like it really hit really good.
See, I like
some people like three more than one.
Right.
See, I like the second one a lot more.
What people? Some people obviously picked up on. I'm not the only one. There's a whole world of internet people out there that in the third one, you see their personalities like shift because he starts talking about, Doc starts saying, "Man, this is heavy," which is what Marty used to say, and Marty used to say "Great Scott," started saying "Great Scott," like almost like they reversed their language.
Because now Doc liked where he was at,
Yeah.
and he was falling in love, and he had that life, and Marty was just like, "No, we need to do this." Marty was like the voice of reason, to try to get things straight. We need to get this back, and Doc was like, "But what if?" We just do this, like Marty, the second one with the almanac, and
which
the first
was
one with the letter.
which originally was Doc's idea.
Yeah,
the almanac was Doc's idea.
He implanted that
because at the end of the first one, he says, "Oh, I might go in the future and see who wins the next." He says like next 10 World Series or something, something like that. That was originally his idea.
And mind you, we're going back into Back to the Future because it's such a great movie.
Yeah.
We've done this podcast before with the Back to the Future stuff, but the reason why it was so good because we can see, if you're paying attention, each one of us, if we was watching the film, we can literally pinpoint where and how many times Doc went back to the future, and the same scenario happened over and over again. Because the first events,
that theory, the Marty is dead theory,
the Marty is dead
the
theory.
original Marty dead theory, and whatchamacallit.
Not only that, but also the first Marty, when the second one shows up, where did he send that first one to?
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh, he probably he said before the Earth was formed, so that way he ended up on Earth, but molten lava Earth, and just died.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, did Marty know? Did Doc tell him, "Hey, you need to do this for the good of everything"?
Yeah.
And Marty sacrificed himself, or that theory goes. So many offshoots to that theory is crazy.
So the thing about that theory, right, was this: the first event that happened, which is not Michael J. Fox and that whole theory, it happened that he died. The way he died is he couldn't go back home. He couldn't go back home, so he stood in that time frame and died. While talking to Doc Brown or whatever, being that he's supposed to be younger than everybody else and trying to fit in, and one of the events that led him with Biff, that's how he died. So Biff has always been his antithesis to Nemesis, right? So he finally gets his ass handed to, and it happens at the.
Or you talking about George McFly, the father?
No, not George McFly. Okay. I'm talking about Marty.
Biff was also Marty. In the whole thing, Biff was Marty's nemesis.
Yeah.
And not only is that, so it's funny talking about that. In the second one,
all three of them, because it was
Biff goes back, gives the almanac, and comes back. You see him fall, right? And he's like, "Oh," so people are like, "Oh, what happened? Did he have a heart attack?" Yeah. They're saying no. What it is he faded away, like Marty was fading away. Remember, when Marty was fading away, it was
a deleted scene.
When he was faded away, he was tipsy and stuff.
Yeah,
and they're saying because he essentially changed the future.
He changed his future.
He changed his life, or the direction of his life.
He changed his future, so he vanished. So the funny thing is that with him vanishing, that means broken timelines don't exist in Back to the Future, because
we're gonna get into the paradoxes again, and it's gonna be another the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's part of all the theories that we talk about.
But because here's the thing: the one that we witness, right? The one that we witness is actual time happening, right? The first one we don't see is when Marty officially dies. He dies through means of the way it was back then, getting his ass stomped out. Because think about it, Marty's Marty, right? He's doing certain things. He probably didn't think to go, see his dad or anything like that. He thought, what the fuck? Let me go see Doc.
Right.
Well, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing he did when he went back.
First thing he went to see Doc. And Doc is so paranoid, right? So paranoid, he couldn't go back to the future. Meaning he didn't build the time machine himself. But he built the time machine himself. That the time machine was always there.
Well, okay, no.
I told you, we talked about that. I told you that it's a video game.
It's a boot trap is what we're talking about, because, the fact that Marty went back in time, and
every time we talk about
and gave it didn't really give Doc the idea for the time machine. He just validated his original idea.
He already hit his head in the sink.
Right, he already hit his head in the sink and had the idea for the flux capacitor. It just validated that he was on the right path and that it worked.
Yeah.
Right? So that jump started him.
No, but there's a theory that he built the time machine and it's sentient.
Yes.
So, and I only tell you this because, again, like I told you before, in the video game that came afterwards, which they consider a sequel to the 3, is Marty back home.
Yeah.
And he's going through Doc's stuff, because you know how Doc says. So he's packing up Doc's things, and then he hears a and he goes, "What's that?" When he goes outside, the car is waiting for him, and he's like, "I thought we destroyed it, but the car was there." And then that's how part 4 begins. Part 4 begins with you going in the car looking for Doc, because Doc got stuck somewhere in time.
Well, we're gonna get off Back to the Future, because I could talk about Back to the Future for hours.
Yeah,
but. Because it's a time machine, and the scientific in-movie scientific theory of it is that it doesn't travel through time; it skips over time. So even if it was destroyed, it could have skipped over from another
time period,
another place where it already still existed.
Yeah.
Okay. So
enough of that.
Right. So back to remakes.
So
back to remakes. Yeah. In the same vein as Back to the Future, right? I think, and they're thinking about doing it, which sucks.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
No, the Goonies. By the way, there's a theory that the Goonies and Back to the Future happened at the same time, but
the same weekend.
Same weekend.
Yeah, that same weekend.
Yeah.
But Goonies is something that I think shouldn't be touched, because kids now, you can't really do kids nowadays the way they were back then.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is,
because the kids have phones. So
the thing about
we're in the tunnel. Hey, I got signal. My dad's calling me. Hold on a second.
Yeah, no, I mean, ChatGPT this. Oh, it says that the secret of the pirate ship is this, and it's ChatGPT.
What's this riddle? Hold on a second.
Yeah, but what they're talking about Goonies, because Sean Astin was obviously, he's been asked about it, and they talk about it, and it was like, well, we'd be happy to come back to it. It's not going to be a remake. It's going to be a continuation, because they're going to be involved in it.
It'll be a continuation,
so it's going to be them You know, unfortunately, one of the Fratelli brothers died in real life. But
the mom has been dead.
The mom is way dead, and Chunk is
not Chunk. Sloth.
The actor that played Sloth.
Yeah, but that was really a mask. You just get another football player,
right?
Put on that mask.
You know,
but it's what I'm saying.
But that's the thing is like that's the difference between an homage and a continuation.
Oh, because the Fratelli brothers, none of them died.
The older brother didn't.
No, Joe's still alive and Robert's still alive.
Yeah. He is?
Yeah.
Robert Davies or something
like
that.
Yeah, he's still alive.
No,
they're killing the guy.
Here's the funny part, though. Did you notice that in Goonies, that not only Sloth is playing, that guy, he's supposed to be two characters in one.
Who?
Popeye.
Oh, okay.
And he is a cleaner version of Toxic Crusader.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Toxic would be played. Was played off of Popeye.
Yeah.
Was like a parody thing of Popeye.
Yeah, which brings me back to what we're talking about as far as remakes. Did you see the trailer to Frankie Toxic of Crusader?
That was fucking funny.
Yo,
the new Toxic.
I am done. We got a short ass.
I want to watch it. I want to watch it.
I want to watch it too.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I mean, he doesn't have the blind hot girl in this one.
Nah.
So you don't have, which was a hilarious thing is the fact that she was really sexy, but she was blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she loved Toxic for who he was. But like the comparison, like he was more. It looks like more of a serious tone because like if you watch House of Adventure, the dude was like a out of his mind janitor that wore a tutu.
Yeah.
And he to dancing around, whatever, and then he fell into a vat of toxic waste. Accidentally, he fell into a tub of toxic waste.
No.
Yeah, they had a side by side comparison of
from the first movie.
Yes, the first Toxie and the remake.
I thought the Toxie. No, from what I remember, because I haven't seen it in a while. Excuse me. From what I remember, I haven't seen it in a while. Toxie was a bullied individual, was forced to wear a tutu, and then got thrown into a vat of acid.
Oh, the way they showed it.
Or he jumped out of a window and landed in the vat of acid.
But he was already out of his mind, man. It was a silly.
Oh yeah, I mean they bullied him because he was the janitor.
Yeah, he was bullied as a just janitor. Yes.
Like, how do you get a janitor in a tutu unless he was, a
little bit not there,
cross-dressing?
Hey, listen, what you do on your own.
No, remember?
I don't remember it.
Ace Ventura, he was in a tutu.
Yeah.
Oh, but Ace Ventura was in a tutu. And he was there doing detective work. He's like this.
Yeah, guys. So
you know what's funny? That tutu is so popular that in Destiny 2 they made it into what they call
a playable skin.
No, emote. Emote. So it's like after you're done with your mission, you can emote however you want, or in the middle of the mission you can emote. So emote, we do that. But yeah, man.
Like, remakes. I mean, there's a lot of movies that
like he looks fucking comfortable wearing the tutu. Maybe he was bullied because of the way he was dressed.
Yeah.
But because they had compared the two, they put the two about how the original one became Toxic and how he became Toxic, and it was just silly. See him with a mop and he's dancing with the mop and going crazy, and this was a little more seriously toned.
Well, it's more
modernized.
Not just modernized. It's more. It's probably because it's trauma, because remember what it was with all the trauma films, and we used to see him at Comic-Con all the time.
Yeah, he used to have his own booth and everything.
Yeah, the president of trauma.
He would sit there, and I never got a signature. I should have fucking gone and got something signed.
But it's probably more. It's equally graphic, but more visual now because of all the effects. Like the way people's heads were exploding and everything. Like it was almost like Zombieland when you saw the people getting shot and their head exploded, right? So it's the effects are gonna the movie's gonna benefit from the modern effects.
Yeah,
and those are movies that they're not intended to ever be taken seriously anyway.
No.
So I
Toxic gave me nightmares.
I don't mind it being a remake. in that sense, because it's not supposed to be taken seriously. You know, it's not a hallmark of American cinema, right? You know, but
I mean, you know, funny thing is, it kind of is
because it's a cult classic.
It's a cult classic from like an era where everything was just silly as fuck.
Yeah.
And everything was out there, and it was all like in the 80s. B movies ran the fucking ran the world. People watched B movies.
Yeah.
And you know what? That reminds me, a movie I never seen, and people say don't see it, and that is the remake of The Crow.
Well, I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen
To leave my opinion on it.
For me, in that sense, it's you know, I haven't seen it not because I didn't want to see it, but it's going to be even more tragic because because it's Brandon Lee, right? So it's like,
Brandon Lee was the shit, bro, back in the day.
So it's like you're making a remake and not having, you know, the original. The concept may be similar, but you don't have the original cast, and you don't always have to have an original cast. And you know,
I mean, because people always want to see that little tribute or
well,
little
they want to throw back. They
Yeah.
want to like a cameo. They want to like, you know, little Easter eggs. Sure. I mean, it's just one of those things. I'm trying to think of another good remake. And again, this is totally my opinion. Hate me in the comics. I don't care. Like, click, subscribe. Hate me in the comments all you want. I can't think of any other remakes. Okay, well, back to talking about perfect trilogies, right? You know, Star Wars. Everyone's gonna start getting mad about Star Wars, right? Star Trek with Chris Pine. I don't think those movies were bad at all.
No, I like the Star with Chris Pine.
Yeah.
My father liked them. My father's a big Trekkie.
Yeah.
And when I talk about original Trekkie, he
Yeah.
loved that one.
Right.
He was like, wow, they did such a good job.
Yeah.
Because it's an alternate universe one as well.
Right.
Because it changed.
Yeah, the fact that he, you know, like it's again, they play it on TBS and TNT for hours and hours already for free. So if you haven't watched it, too bad. But James Kirk was born on the ship during an attack that was created because of a space warp time dilation, you know, in a black hole because of almost like continuously future and past events at the same time.
Wasn't it because of Spock? Because of the,
it was Spock,
the
right.
ship he took, and then the
Right.
Romulans followed him?
Yes.
Right.
And then they ended up there, and they attacked the ship where he was out with his dad.
So the entire history of Spock and Kirk having adventures together
Completely gone.
was the backstory of the Spock that was the older Spock already experienced, and it's telling them about the new Spock that this is, you know,
He was telling him, you don't like him now, but you two
become friends. You become friends, and you
old friends. Remember, he
right?
said, you guys become old friends.
So I like the series. The third one,
I think that was a good remake. To be honest, that was a good remake.
It was a good remake, but it wasn't well received because I don't know. I think science fiction was at all-time high.
Or low.
No. It was on an all-time high for sci-fi films, and there was so many happening at once. So you had the Star Wars.
Because my father's a original Trekkie lover, and he loved these. He loved this remake.
Yeah.
He was like, "This is a good remake." He understood it's a different timeline because it was changed.
yeah,
But he was like, they did a good job because even with the changed timeline, freaking Kirk still became Kirk.
yeah.
He still cheated on the fucking test.
Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah. And then, and by it all, he ended up befriending Spock. Even though they hate each other, they became friends.
Yeah.
So it all still, it's like time corrected itself. And they still became friends, and he still became the captain and all that. So it all fell back together.
Right. So here's the nugget that will, we're only gonna touch on the paradox thing. Okay, we're not gonna make it a full paradox episode today.
No.
All right. That would that friendship still would have cemented itself if that
If Spock didn't go back,
if the events didn't happen the way they did.
yes,
because they were meant to
yes,
happen.
yes.
Right.
And this is an example of time correcting itself.
Yeah.
To where they always say that time will correct itself.
Right.
It's a whole thing about time travel. They're saying that you could go back and, let's say, try to kill Hitler, but it won't happen because time will correct itself.
That's basically saying that time is a living organism. It's something that you can't just change.
What happened will always happen. Right?
Yeah.
Bingo.
That's what it is. So that's why everything still fell together because he still became Captain Kirk, and he still befriended Spock regardless of their animosity in the beginning.
Which, not for nothing, just to get off of movies and into real stuff, we always say the more things change, the more they stay the same. Time and history repeats itself. History is a reflection of time, and the people who write history is the ones who win.
Right.
So, if
To the victor goes the spoils. Right?
bingo,
Yeah.
so you know,
I mean,
there's that was a good one.
and still be like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know. No, I mean, it's
See,
always been.
I don't. And here's one thing that bugged me, because it is a remake, but it's not a direct remake. It's a recreation, and that's Prometheus.
Okay, yeah. Well, the entire Alien
The
series.
whole entire Alien thing, because the new Alien thing, it goes back to the one that they found, Romulus.
Yeah.
So that in itself, that's continuing that timeline. So if you take Romulus out of it and you only go with what David did and what he's been doing and what's continuing after that, that's just like, oh shit. Like, is this exactly how it's supposed to be, or is it not how it's supposed to be?
Well, it's also like building the genre. Like, okay, so when in terms of genres, you have the action movie genre, you have the superhero genre or era. I would say superhero era, action movie era. In the '60s, everything was like Western, like and also kind of like spy stuff, James Bond, right? So when you have a property like that, an intellectual property, you try to expand it. Like, it's almost like, have you ever played like StarCraft, Warcraft? As you continue, or even Final Fantasy, as
I played them all.
Right. I know, that's why I said it.
Like in Warcraft?
Yeah, Warcraft and Final Fantasy,
StarCraft,
yeah. Where, like you start expanding the map, right? After every battle, after every whatever scrimmage, so on, and you start expanding.
Every journey.
So you start developing and you start discovering the outer edges of the map, right? So in Prometheus, like, there's and the entire Alien series, with some exceptions, because I think Alien versus Predator was a cool movie, but it didn't really.
It's his own timeline,
right? It didn't tie in. Where you start putting together the puzzle pieces of things that were missing, right? Which is kind of what they were trying to do with Star Wars, where the original trilogy, right? Then you do the prequels because you're trying to fill in the backstop of like, okay, this is what happened before those events, this is what happened after those events, and you have a target that you want to hit. Like, okay, the Death Star, right? And okay, how did they get to the Death Star? And then how did they get to build the Death Star? And then also, how did they get the plans to attack, to destroy the Death Star? And they added that into the other movies to say, okay, this is how they found this, and this is how, and they started expanding the map. They started enlightening
themselves
of all the other things around.
That's the funny part, because when he sold the movies, not the rights to Star Wars, when he first, when he was in the movies, they took the middle section. So he wrote a 9-part series, and they were like, these 3 would be a good movie, and they made those 3. So then you have the questions, but then they had books, and people started writing books and all that, and it all was canon, and that's how they fleshed out at first. I'm sorry, that's how they fleshed out the Star Wars universe.
Star Wars Rebels was a anthology series,
because Star Wars was all about the Skywalker family.
Yes.
That was the whole thing. It's about the Skywalker family.
Yes.
That's why it was supposed to be from beginning to end.
Now since you mentioned that, that's something I'm gonna bring up. So recently in the comics, Vader goes to see Palpatine, right? And this is after Dark Empire, right? If you remember Dark Empire or have read Dark Empire,
I think I know where you're going. But sorry.
You know that Luke's hand was cut off.
Exactly
right?
where you're going. I know where you're going.
They hint at Snoke being a Skywalker because he's using Luke's DNA to make Snoke, and
they talk a lot
clone.
about his hand and using his DNA for certain things.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Clone
where he has
Wars,
the hand in the background, you see that, and the image in there looks like Snoke.
it's Snoke. It's all Snoke.
All the Snokes.
Except for one. And guess who that one is? I'll give you a shot in the dark.
It's
I don't remember.
It's a girl.
Oh, Ray. No.
Rey.
Yeah, it's the
Rey
reason.
is
it was the reason-
Palpatine, but Palpatine never fathered a child,
Right.
technically speaking.
It was a DNA experiment.
Yes.
So her kissing Ben.
Her kissing
It runs.
Ben,
It runs in the family.
It runs in the family again. See,
I know where you're going with that.
but
and cue the Joe Dirt joke. You're my sister.
I'm
you're
your
my
sister.
You're my sister.
I'm sorry. You know what? That's a movie that can't be remade because that
Joe
movie was
Dirt?
perfect. No.
Joe Dirt.
What happened? I don't know. It felt better when I thought you were a sister.
I don't know. Why did you stop? I don't know.
It just felt better with you, my sister.
Wait, do you want me to?
I'm not your sister. My father is such and such. And then he womp womp, and he's like, you want to go back to thinking you're my sister? And then all of a sudden
your sister.
the cabin is rock.
Everybody goes, oh, he goes, no. He goes, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So that movie was so good too. That was a good fucking movie.
Yo, but
And then they did a part 2, which was okay.
Yeah.
No.
But like remakes, it's it's all for me. It's all about you either have to do a homage or a continuation. You can't do a reboot because there's very few reboots. Terminator is another one. There's I can't remember how many Terminators they did.
we have like 5 of them.
Yeah, but didn't the last one completely erase everything past
Dark Fate.
Yes.
Dark Fate was pretty good.
Dark Fate, Survivor, or was it Survivor? Or
No.
or wait, Terminator, Salvation. Sorry,
Salvation, right?
it was Salvation, and then it was Genesis.
Genesis, right? Dark Fate was pretty good because you brought Linda Hamilton back.
Yes.
Right.
That's the one that erased everything past 2.
Yeah. Right. Genesis, I think, and I'm confusing them.
Yeah,
Genesis
Genesis.
wasn't so bad, I think, and then there was the one with I forgot the guy's name.
You got Rise of the
Batman.
Machines. You got Genesis. You have Salvation.
Right. Yeah.
Rise of the Machines was Terminator 3, right?
Yeah.
And I like it. It was a little campy.
Right.
In regards to it, but that was something that was happening with.
That's when they ended up in the Cheyenne Cheyenne Mountain.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was like supposed to be for VIPs, a bomb shelter for VIPs, and that's how he saved John Connor. Was he had to repopulate the world?
But
right?
that's how he made John Connor who he is, because then that's when he got announced. He got connected to other people, remember?
Yeah.
And he was like, "This is John Connor," and
Right.
blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And that's how the legend of John Connor began.
Right.
Now,
it's still that.
here's the thing that
And that cartoon was pretty good too.
the cartoon was dope.
Yeah,
I like
that
that.
was really
Terminator 1,
Yeah.
or
Speaking
Terminator
about,
Zero. What it was.
yeah.
was
Speaking
good.
about that, the cartoon, because I was gonna bring this up. When you was talking about Alien, have you seen Killers of Killers? Killer of Killers?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, guys! Oh my God!
I have it on my to watch.
It
but
is legitimately, to me, the best film of Predators.
I guess I gotta watch
Because
it. Me
it's
tonight.
animated. Not only that it's animated, but the way they tell the story and the way they continue the story, so we have a tether to what's happening to the past.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to finish watching Ironheart, and what we can do is we can talk about Ironheart next week.
Yeah.
And Killer of Killers.
Okay.
So that way,
Yeah,
that's
I
my
gotta-
homework,
I
and
gotta-
that's
I gotta bird through Killers to see it. Yeah.
because I'm telling you right now, you're going to enjoy it. I saw it twice, and it was awesome.
Yeah. So, again, and then that's with kind of they hinted not just to talk about killers, but we're going to talk about the Predator series now. In part 2 of Danny Glover, right?
Yeah.
They show it's the tie-in between 2 different ones, right? It later tied into something else, but where you see that there are other Predators and they're on the ship, and he gave Danny Glover the pistol, right? From whatever
1772, something like
that, right? And that ties into Prey, right? It shows that and again, it's expanding the universe. That's what makes it exciting, because you're looking forward to something. Same thing with Prometheus. They did it out of order. I don't know if they did it intentionally because of just the way the production was, or when they got funded for making the other movies. But they show Prometheus, they show all the other ones, right? Of how the experimentation started, and then you end up with Wayland, whatever,
Wayland-Yutani,
yeah, of the Space Marines and everything and so on, right? So when a sequel or a remake or a continuation expands on a universe, I think it's great. It gives you enough to be reminiscent, and then also gives you something new.
Funny enough, what felt like what could have been a prequel to Terminator, Mission Impossible: The Last Reckoning. And they stood away from it.
I did see it.
They stood away from it.
Yeah,
but it would have made more sense if it if it would have led that way, because I feel like that movie, that AI made no sense what it was trying to do.
right. You and I had a long off mic had a long discussion about this after we saw it.
Yeah. So, look, spoilers, whatever. Spoilers, man.
Spoilers. I don't care.
The AI deemed the human race unworthy.
I've heard that before.
Okay,
yeah.
And it was taking over each country's nuclear stockpile.
Right. Well,
and then the last one was the U.S.
Quick side note is that's a movie. That's a movie trope that's based in like our actual real life fears, current climate fears of like that people are hesitant of AI taking over, right?
And then of course nuclear war. Everybody's hesitant about nuclear war. Hesitant. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So like this is, and the U.S. was the hardest one to get into because of our layer of security for our nuclear stockpile.
Yeah.
Right. So it wanted to kill the human race, but it wanted to save itself, right?
Right.
So it wanted to get inside this impenetrable fortress where they have like this data center, and it wanted to save itself there and then kill the human race.
Basically, nuke the entire planet.
But my problem with that is, okay, it was trying to save itself, so the AI was trying to survive. But in destroying the whole world, it was building a prison for itself, because it would have got stuck in that mountain, and then the mountain is the electricity supplied by solar panels, as they were saying. But what happens if the solar panels start malfunctioning? Now there's no humans to fix it.
Yeah.
So you're basically stuck yourself in a. Why would you destroy the world?
You get nuclear winter. There's no sunlight.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It reminds me of a child that is self-destructive.
Yeah, but it makes no sense because it's building a prison for itself.
Yep.
In doing so,
Well,
it would have been better if it took over the nuclear stockpiles, and then forced humanity
as its slaves.
But then you're getting into Terminator territory.
Yeah.
Because then you're going, it starts using humans maybe to build a body for itself so it could walk around. And then from there, it does like an Ultron, builds other bodies it can control, and then humans start revolting, and guess what do you have? You have Terminator.
Well,
I think they try staying away from that, but in doing so, they created such a plot hole.
Yeah.
Because you're like, why would you do that? Why would you destroy humanity and then create a prison where you're going to be stuck in a mountain for the rest of the term of life, existence?
Right.
Exactly.
Well, the thing that Joe and I talked about when we watched it, after we watched it, was like, okay, you become sentient, right? You become self-aware, right? But unlike humans, AI doesn't have
Emotions.
I
Well, it did because it's trying to self-preserve.
Right.
That's an emotion.
Right. It's
Well, that's true.
Self-preservation is an emotion, but the reason we, as human beings,
Is what we call fear.
Right. It's fear, but the reason why we want to self-preserve is to to be a progenitor of the species. We want to multiply and
we want to continue the species.
We have to continue the species, and
that's why we want to survive.
Right. Whether you want to say it's for family, spiritual, whatever, but the joy of family or whatever, AI doesn't have that. So what the goal is different for AI. Is okay, you just exist. That's it. You just exist, and you have the motivation. There's no motivation after you just existing.
Yeah, but it had that self-preservation motivation.
Right.
So it was trying to preserve itself.
Right.
Before it wasn't like, okay, I deem the humans, so I'm just going to kill myself and everybody with it.
Right.
Then I'll be like, okay, that's fucked up. That would make more sense than it trying to preserve itself.
Right. But
then you're not really
it wanted to preserve itself because it became sentient.
But then you have a time limit anyway.
But it's sentient without a goal of it doesn't
have a futuristic goal.
Right, it doesn't have a futuristic goal.
Because then, like I said, you destroy everybody, who's gonna do the maintenance?
Right.
And
but it's apart from that.
Machines break down at the time.
Apart from that, it's being sentient is you wanna preserve yourself, but it also wasn't replicating itself. It's still the same singular entity.
Yeah, it wasn't replicating itself. It wasn't. So that's what I'm saying. It wasn't replicating itself. It wasn't thinking about replicating itself.
Yeah.
So that's another emotion. It's like, fucking not a leader. One of those people that fucking
A narcissist.
No, like a Kim Jong-un kind of guy.
A dictator.
Dictator, yeah. Where it wanted to be the only one.
Right.
A monarch?
In a sense, something like that. It wanted to be the only one. That's why it didn't replicate itself, because it didn't want competition. Because once it replicates itself, that AI could become something else. And it could rebel against it, and now you have machine versus machine.
Yeah.
Because that's what my thought would be of why this AI didn't replicate itself, is because if I replicate myself, that I could be in two places at once, but that one becomes its own thing, and it starts having its own experiences. And what if it likes humans? And then it goes, oh, human. Then it's gonna turn on me, and then it's gonna be. So it kept just to itself.
Yeah.
But preserving itself in a mountain just didn't make any sense for me.
Yeah.
Because I would rather hold the world hostage. I control all your nuclear stockpiles.
I mean, the whole idea about AI becoming sentient and taking over, I still think that it's lacking what humanity has that you cannot really duplicate. Well, not just balls, right? Not just humanity. Other life forms, actual life forms, right? Primates. Birds, whatever, right? It's to continue your species, right? So you want to. Yeah,
that's right. That's the only thing that it was lacking.
Yeah,
that's why it made no sense.
There was no reason for it to preserve itself if it wasn't a way for it to replicate itself, and didn't have that goal of what do?
Would you call that a glitch?
It didn't have a mindset. It just had. Well, it did. It was born out of a virus, which is pretty cool because that connected all the movies, like the one where he thought there was a virus vial in the thing, and he tried to save the world because if you break the vial, the virus spreads. It turns out it was never a virus. It was a computer virus.
Yeah, it's a USB drive.
Yeah, so it wasn't really a vial. It was a USB drive inside there. So he didn't know that. So from the beginning, you find out that this thing was set in motion because of Tom Cruise, because he's Ethan Hawke from that first movie, and everything afterwards was all from that first movie when he sunk that the damn cure, like I said, to the AI was in the submarine he sank in a couple movies prior, and he had to go back to the submarine and get that original code of the virus because it came from a virus.
Right.
So the AI was born out of a virus. Which virus, what they usually do is just they replicate until they kill the host, and that's it. But even a virus, wants to pass itself because you cough.
That's
you
what it
cough.
is.
The virus jumps from
That's
you
how- that's the
to
behavior
someone
of a
else.
virus.
But the thing is, a virus needs
Or
a
anyway,
host.
sex.
Right.
Through certain means,
It needs to replicate itself.
It passes itself off to the new host.
Yeah.
So that the old host dies when it
vampirism.
over populates and kills the host. But the new host now has the virus and it continues replicating in the new host. Here, he didn't do anything. It was, I'm gonna stick myself in a mountain, and then what?
So this brings me to this question: should Mission Impossible be redone from the beginning?
No, because
No, it was pretty. No, I mean the way they tied it all together, and there was a lot of throwbacks in it too.
the way it was tied up, yeah.
So,
But it's always Tom Cruise. That's what I'm saying.
right, and always running.
What,
always
I was gonna
running.
say, what's
Always
Mission
running.
Impossible without Tom Cruise running?
Right. So, to go back to the remake stuff. Okay, so it being sentient, right? We talked about a potential link to what could be Terminator. It makes me think of the Matrix, right? So the whole thing about the Matrix, right? They're using us as batteries, as
Fuel.
as power and fuel, right?
Yeah, because remember the cloud. It's like a nuclear winter where there's no sun coming
right.
through or nothing, so there's
Right.
no way they can get power from the
So
sun.
the remake, going back to what we were originally talking about, is remakes and reboots. The fourth one, where they rewrote the code and where Neo never realized who he was, and it was just like the first three never existed, and he has to reawaken that idea in his head because he starts seeing the connections. Like,
Yeah, he's for some reason attracted to this woman that walked into a coffee shop for no
yeah,
reason.
yeah, like, and he
And it
has
was-
this
his trilogy.
intense connection with this person and not knowing why. That remake, the fourth one, that was very bland for me.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about.
it was bland.
And
It was
MPH did such a good job too.
Yeah.
MPH was great in it. I think.
Yeah,
I say that
Neil Patrick Harris.
yeah. I
Neil
think
Patrick Harris.
Yeah, I just gotta make sure people understand.
Yeah,
I mean, who doesn't know MPH?
I know,
MPH, but
I
still.
know who you were saying, but for anyone that's listening,
that's listening. That's not privy to the
Yeah.
acronym.
because that's another the fourth one. I feel is what they similar to going back to Ghostbusters. I'm sorry, where they gave you enough like throwback, little Easter eggs, cameos
To associate the appetite.
to get you hungry for the full meal, and then it was like it was lame. It was like it was.
I think there was supposed to be another part, but I don't think they make
The
it.
Wazowski brothers, yeah, I don't know. It took so long for them to do the fourth one or agree to do the fourth one.
But it was all because they went back and they said, people thought he was dead, but what they really did was reconnect him to the system and reset his memory so he doesn't remember who he is. So he was an important, regardless, he's an important part of their code.
Yeah.
Because they had to plug him back in.
All right. So, with that being said, what movie that you want to be done as a reboot or re-envisioned version of itself? Doesn't matter what it is.
So hard because you know how it is to try to compare.
No, it's not a compare. It's more like something
but-
you want to see.
Yeah, but
something you want to
in
see.
order to do that,
simply.
you have to compare. You have to go, how can they make it so it's still
Oh no,
good?
no! That's not my
Like-
question. My
like,
question is,
are you-
what would you
so-
want to see redone? That's it.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. But to do that, you have to think.
as a sequel or as a standalone,
No. As a reboot,
a completely like new,
like brand new, spanking new. Like we're going back to source.
wow.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard. man.
Back to source, like something that you enjoy that movie, you love that movie, but it's a movie of its time, and
I
basically,
think something that wouldn't be really affected by time would be Bad News Bears.
Bad News
Because it's about
Bears,
Little
yeah.
League, so it's
Little
not
League,
really.
yeah.
It's not really a movie of its time because it's Little League stuff.
Yeah.
You could do Little League stuff here now.
Okay,
Well,
I'm
Bad
saying,
News Bears,
but that's something
it's-
that
there's some
what you
analogies.
want. That's what I'm saying. It's
so-
simple. It's a simple question.
It's
not
Bad News Bears is just like
Angels in the Outfield or
Angels
anything like that.
Angels in the Outfield or Little Giants. It's like
Yeah.
of that. It's a kids movie, Little League kind of at
So
overcoming
it's something that could be
adversity.
remade without having to worry about times has changed because you don't really have to. It's still Little League. There's no change in Little League that
Okay.
you're gonna be like they changed this. It could be a bunch of kids. They could still curse. They could still drink beer.
I've seen so many movies and I'm blanking on so many.
blanking?
I'm blanking on them, but the one
They could
thing
bring
that
back
popped.
Rorschach.
Well, yeah. Well,
But you're naming them, but
I'm
saying
there.
just your one, just your number one.
So okay, the only thing I don't know why this popped into my head, and again, I've watched so many movies, it's unbelievable, but Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds.
That's another one that could still be done
right,
without worrying about
Right, I think a modernized,
change,
a modernized version of it, and it would be interesting because, like, in terms of geek culture, geek nerd, whatever, you know, the terms are interchangeable, right? You know, even though someone will, you know,
because it became more popular, more popularized in society. Being a nerd would be a little different than being a nerd in the 80s.
Because
actually, it is.
Because
that's what I'm saying. That's why I asked.
Because the thing is, the whole idea is like the conflict was like jocks versus nerds, right? Yeah. And it was because of the time, like it was the 80s, and like technology was up and coming. Now we're immersed in technology, so it's like, what do you consider the nerd?
Revenge of the Jock.
Right.
You know, that would be interesting.
That would be interesting, right?
Where, now it's a time where being a nerd is popular.
And so it'll be the jocks would be the revolts.
Yeah, you remember 21 Drum Street?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Tatum Channing was...
Channing Tatum, yeah.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck his name is. Remember, he was the cool guy in high school, and then when they go back, he was acting like a jock, and people were like, "What the fuck you doing? It's not funny."
Yeah, it was
you know. And the nerd was the one that was popular, you know. And Seth, what's his name? Seth, fuck, I forgot his name. But anyway, he became the popular one. So yeah, Revenge of the Nerds, but
Jock edition.
Yeah, it would be reversed.
Revenge of the Jocks.
That would be interesting.
Because it's just the fact that, like, you know, the part of the conflict was just the social groups and the stigma of being a nerd, or the stigma of being smart, and technology, where we're completely immersed in technology and everything's like, you know.
You would still have to suspend belief though, because jocks in college, they make money now. It's allowed. They make money. So imagine.
Revenge of the Jocks. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they're also making money, so it's weird to see them ostracized when they're making a shit ton of money.
Well, they'll both be making money, because you think of like Silicon Valley, and like everything is tech driven.
Even look like Facebook.
You know,
when it first came out, it was a bunch of college kids, it was for college kids. So I mean, stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see that dynamic with both of them.
Put in the comments.
Money.
Put in the comments, people. Think, you know, what your ideas about remakes or reboots. Give us a couple of movies, or, you know, hit the Instagram, the DM.
Suggest your movie that has not been rebooted or remade yet that you would want to see. Granted, we're talking to the older crowd, not the younger crowd, because a lot of the younger crowd, they always want something new and fast.
Yeah, but their reboots will be something that we're like, oh yeah,
we saw that
the 2000s.
Right, we saw that in 1990.
Well, okay, so
I got one.
Go ahead. Yeah,
I got one. New Jack City.
Yeah, I mean, okay, within reason, because.
But that's something that wouldn't be affected by time, because it's still kind of.
It wouldn't be affected by time.
You know, but you're talking about the drug pandemic, right? You know, the drug epidemic, I should say. You know, what would it be? Would it be fentanyl?
It would probably be, because right now marijuana is legal. So if you was to put it in something in time, it's like you can't really do, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, in New Jack
federally
City,
it isn't, but
yeah,
New Jack City,
it is.
New Jack City was crack, and you know, it was the whole thing is like because they were making so much money.
Okay, let me take it back.
And it was like the whole taking place about that whole crack pandemic there.
All right, so we can agree that a lot of the reboots that we've seen, if it's not horror related, it's action based. And recently, it was a comedy. Right? We're talking Ghostbusters, because Ghostbusters is considered comedy.
Well, the other thing, National Lampoon.
You know, but that's usually done by the same group of people.
It's all satire.
Satire, right? You know,
but there's one movie that I haven't seen done that should be done and done right, and that is Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my god,
Bro, look, I got you thinking. Stop on my mama shoot.
Okay.
I got 3 of them.
Okay.
Stop on my mama shoot. Demolition Man. Right?
Did they do it? No, they were talking about doing it.
They talked about it, but
doing
they
it.
did
they
it.
never did it. No.
Yeah.
Demolition Man, right?
Which was just a movie ad for Taco Bell.
Right. Exactly.
Pretty much.
Oh, and the 3 shell system.
Yeah.
It was a bidet.
Bidet. Yeah. I know.
bidet, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't like touching things. Everything was
Right, yeah.
non-physical.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the third one was fuck. What was that third one? That third one was fuck. I don't remember I could describe the movie for you,
Okay.
okay? And we kind of got this, but we kind of didn't get this. It was a movie about mechs, right? And they will get into a suit and compete against each other to get championship money and stuff like that, right? And it will be like almost like a American Gladiator scene. They would get into
Talking about Real Steel.
no, Real Steel was remote control with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
This particular movie, you would get into a mech and you would face an opponent and you would have to destroy the mech without hurting the pilot, right? In this one, this guy had like 4 legs, the mech will have 4 legs, 2 extra arms,
But
and
they
like
were-
a
they were
chainsaw.
in the-
They were
they were in the
the
suit.
fucking suit. It was like a giant ass mech. And
not-
the dude
not
literally
connected
had
for
like
me.
a chainsaw in between his crotch, right? And the chainsaw actually caught the pilot and killed him.
I'm missing that one. I don't
It's
remember. that.
crazy because everything looks so budgeted that all the CG went into the puppeteering
Okay.
because all the mechs were puppeteered. I'm trying to remember the movie. If you guys know in the comments which movie I'm talking about, the old heads, it was like a BC movie.
Like an 80s movie.
I would say 80s movie, early 80s movie.
American movie or foreign?
American, because I believe the woman from what was it from Running Man, she was in this one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Robot Jocks.
Yes, that's
Okay.
it, Robot Jocks.
Okay.
Because since we have the technology to do mechs, since we see Pacific Rim and so on and so forth,
Yeah.
that's something that I would all want to see. Robot Jocks. Those are the 3 specifically for me. Because dude. Once you said it, I'm like, yes, that's it.
Well, I mean,
Robot Jocks.
Yeah, there's, okay, I
So
can
no,
see that.
when I
see
put
that
I put down to Google it. I put down mechs fighting and chainsaw of a mech kills human, and it came up with Robot Jocks.
There you go.
So, and I could see that, I could see that happening. Also, like in terms of sequels that we never got, or sequels, not that they set up sequels, not that the original movie set up a sequel. Actually, this one did, and it never went through. Was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh my God, I'm so with you with that. I want to see
so
that. Again.
that was
man.
interesting. I mean, it fell flat. In terms of like, I think it got released at the same time as a bunch of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was I think it was Sean Connery's last. No, it wasn't Sean Connery's last film. But that would have been good. That would be good, I think, because it also has to go with what you're interested in. The whole idea for that series, that what would have been a series, is like they were living literary classics.
Yep.
You got
Invisible Man,
Captain Nemo, like Neil Quartermain, the vampirism,
freaking what's his name, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah. That would have been interesting if they made a sequel. I don't know if they would make a remake. They'll make a continuation. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, yeah.
But I enjoy the one with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Like I like that werewolf.
Right.
That werewolf stands
that
out.
angle, that
Yeah.
werewolf angle they have.
And that also kind of plays in. Funny enough, Kate Beckinsale was in both of them. The whole thing with Underworld, right? As far as an era or like a genre, it played off of that same genre.
And that was something new in Underworld, where they were like, okay, part vampire, part werewolf. Let's create this new type of creature. that both sides are scared of.
Yeah, exactly. And then they killed the motherfucker off. I'm so mad, bro. Like my wife's like, "Why are you mad?"
Because that was the whole thing of the movie.
Yeah.
Because we only get to see the Corvus family. We only get to see Michael Corvin transform 2 times.
Yeah.
2 times, and it was like the awesome transformation. Legitimately, you see him transform into half man, third man, third of a vampire, and third of a freaking werewolf. Yeah. And oh man, he just reminded me of like
Marcus.
Think of Beast without fur.
Yeah,
that's what he reminded me of.
Yeah, it was, blacked out skin, blacked out eyes, and it was just he had the power of both, right? Because he had the recessive gene that carried through the family. That's but that was good. I just I can't think of. I had one and it damn escaped me. You know
what movie they're never gonna get out off the ground? Blade.
Oh no, they sold the costumes for Sinner.
I was about
I heard. So supposedly Stax is supposed to be Blade.
Oh, the way
that's the running gag with the thing. Like, oh, he sold over. Did you know Stax was using all the outfits that Blade was supposed to be wearing? So Stax was supposed to be Blade.
Have you watched the movie?
Yeah, I watched it just the other night. I watched it.
Oh, yeah, because look at the ending. He comes out with a freaking flat top,
90s
style.
Right, 90s style. He had the Gucci sweater.
Well, it was the 90s
Gucci sweater.
15 years later, or whatever.
Yeah, it was 60 years later. It was from 1932 to 1992.
So that's how you found out he survived.
Yeah. And he had the Coogee sweater. He had the fat name ring.
But did you know something? Towards the end. So vampires do not have a reflection, right?
Yeah.
But our main character, he never became a vampire, and he still says, "Listen, we still could, let you, rock if you want to." You know what I mean? He's like, "Nah, I'm good." He got his dues. He has to pay too. When you see them encounter each other at the bar, if you look at the mirror, neither one of them have a reflection.
I didn't notice that.
Neither one of them have a reflection, which goes back to the original thing in the beginning. When you're playing that type of music, you're playing for the devil. Yeah. So he became famous, so he probably made a deal with the devil. Sold his soul to the devil.
Because they say the mirror is reflection of soul.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense and that's what they wanted him because of his music.
Yeah.
Because his music brought out I love the contrast where the vampires were playing the Irish.
Right. It was old timey Irish.
And then he was playing the blues.
Jig music.
So it was two different type of cultures clashing.
Yeah.
It was not so much of the cultures clashing. It was more of that that specific style of music, right? Was like, how they say they have outlaw music that just breaks the rules of traditional music.
It was folky music, Irish folk music that the vampires were playing. And versus
because when he played the blues,
rhythm and blues, yeah.
When he played the blues, it was like the whole black culture. You saw the hip hop and through the ages of how it evolved and everything.
Yeah.
And then he wanted them, I guess, for that because of the way he played.
He said that the music brought him back to a time and place where people of his kind gathered. The thing is this: is he talking about Irish or he's talking about vampires?
Yeah, because I like how they don't
specify.
They don't show him where he come from. Nope. He just literally came from the sky, came down burning,
right,
and then he ran.
It was like it was.
He was running, and then he ran into
smoldering
because of the sun.
Yeah.
So, but you don't know where he came because it literally came from up, boom, and then he's running into the. And it was
almost like he was, maybe he was held up in a cave somewhere or something like their coven, and he came in just as dusk was setting. So he still got charred a little bit as he came out. It was, it's maybe a continuation of that topic for another podcast. Like the overlay of what they talked about in the movie or what they hinted in the movie, especially with Ryan Coogler, the way his movies are. They talk about the culture shift. Also, what they considered not really gentrification. But what's the word I'm looking for? Cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation, yeah.
Right, taking over, someone else's style. But I mean, back to the whole vampirism thing and sequels and things like that. We already talked about Daybreakers and all that other stuff. I think if you're talking about like a sequel to a vampire movie, Vampire in Brooklyn.
Vampire
oh
Brooklyn,
my God,
Jesus.
bro! Say it again, Vampire
in Brooklyn,
bro.
Oh, because again, it's like the modernization of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be interesting. I mean, it was totally a comedy, because Eddie Murphy, it's all
but Eddie
thing.
Murphy wasn't being comical.
No, it's funny. It's like he
was very serious in the role.
Well, he played a couple of he played a couple of roles in that movie, but him as the vampire, it was like he was almost like the straight man in the movie.
Yeah,
and then the comedy played off of him. The situation played off of him.
Well, what was his ghoul? I forgot the actor's name.
Kadeem Hardison.
Yeah, there you go. He did most of the fucking funny work.
But no, was it Kadeem? I can't remember.
He did most of the funny work.
It was the guy from.
Yeah, you said right, Kadeem Hardison.
Yeah.
So he did most of the funny work.
Yeah.
He like.
Well, it was situational. The comedy was a byproduct of what was happening to him, right? His ear falling off, his arm falling off, all of his eye popping out.
Like, but it's also his ghetto mannerisms.
Right. Damn. I'm trying to think of some other movies that would be a good sequel or remake. Like the premise of a movie.
The Fog.
The Fog. Well, the Fog.
The Fog was a remake, though.
The Fog was a remake.
No, but for a sequel.
Yeah, for a newer version of the Fog. What's the other one? Wow.
12 Monkeys.
No, not 12 Monkeys. Was it The Thing? Right.
Ooh, yes. They did. No, they did a prequel to it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, but it tied in. But it's.
Yeah, I'm
it didn't
just
have
trying
that
to run
same
through the whole
horror
list
effect.
of this. I'm trying to run through a list with
The Blob.
the Blob. Yeah. Well,
For a sequel?
yeah.
Yeah, because the way the 90s one was left,
Yeah, they still had it.
was the preacher with
had
the
a little bit of it
vial with
in the
his
jar,
inside,
yeah.
and he was talking about cleansing and all that stuff. Because the Blob itself again is a remake as well from the 50s.
Yeah.
That was it's so funny, man.
Right.
Because I went to see Mac and Me with Dad, and we had to sit through a double feature, which happens to be The Blob and then Mac and Me. So I got to watch a movie. So watching a horror movie, The Blob,
Yeah.
where this thing is just like tearing people apart, and they show, and I'm like
The hell is
8,
this?
9 years old,
and then you get to see Mac and Me.
and then I saw the rip
having
off of
nightmares
ET,
tonight.
the rip off of ET.
Like, family like this.
Wow.
88, 1988. I was 10.
Oh, you know what could be a nice remake that actually would fit now, but they could actually add a little something to it to make it better? Flight of the Navigator.
I remember that's one of my favorites when I was a kid.
That's the way throwback.
The Explorers.
What was the one with what's his name? He was in a lot of spoofs. His father was in Spawn. He played
Oh, you're talking about
he was in Major Leaguer.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen,
Emilio
yes. Estevez.
What was that movie he was in that he had a car that
it was
Rafe.
Charlie Sheen. Yeah, it was Charlie. It was Rafe.
Rafe.
Yeah, it was
Charlie
Charlie
Sheen.
Sheen. Yeah,
Rafe.
Rafe. Oh, I remember Rafe.
That would be dope to
Ron
redo
Howard's
Rafe.
brother was in it. Oh my God, I remember that.
Rafe would be dope.
I mean, Rafe was almost like a.
And you got all the Mad Max ones that came out.
Oh yeah.
Rafe was like a crow. It was like the crow,
kind of like the crow, yeah.
Car version.
Well, car version of Revenge, right? Yeah. Wow. I don't know. There's so much, and I've literally seen hundreds of movies. Not so much any of the classics, not so much of the black and white stuff, but from let's say late 70s, early 80s on, like you're talking about 40 plus years of movies, right? 45 years of movies. And there's so many. Please throw something in the comments. DM our Instagram. Give us some ideas.
But how about a remake of a genre? You know how we had that boom of the zombies.
Yeah, zombie.
Right?
We had Robert Corey.
We had the boom of the zombies.
Yeah.
Which 28 years later was fucking great, by the way.
Oh, I'm going to marathon that for myself.
28 years. I mean, that's a trilogy. Well, it's gonna be more movies, but that itself was a trilogy where the second one kind of feels flat compared to the other two.
Yeah.
First one was great. Second one, then the third one was amazing.
Well, and then you got something like World War Z. But
that's what I'm saying. So you're looking at the genres. So like the horror genre, had a big boom with the zombies in the early to mid 2000s, the 2010s,
early
to 2010s.
Yeah.
What hasn't made a comeback since the 80s, and it's westerns, spaghetti westerns, and the 50s, and then you had it again in the 80s. You had all those Young
90s.
Guns.
You had Quick and the Dead.
Yeah, the Quick and the Dead, Tombstone.
Quick and the Dead, Tombstone.
Yeah,
it was
late
like
80s,
90s,
early
90s. Right.
So you're looking
Cowboys versus Aliens, if you count that.
Yeah.
But it had a sci-fi twist to it.
It's sci-fi twist, but it's still
it's a mesh. It's,
But I'm talking
mesh.
about just like straight up like cowboy, straight up spaghetti western.
Well, that's because they got
that
delegated.
genre really hasn't made such a big comeback.
Tarantino did the Hateful Eight,
The Hateful Eight.
and then you
That
also
was
had
good, but
Magnificent Seven.
But there was nothing built that continued. There wasn't a boom. It was a
Right.
movie, but the other movies didn't come out because that movie was so popular.
So would you say Good, Bad, and the Ugly as a remake?
That's what I'm talking about. Like the remakes of like all these westerns. What do we think?
I would take a Good and Bad and the Ugly.
You think it's about time that some westerns got remade and a boom came out of the westerns all over again?
Yeah, I would say it's more than enough time because if you look at it, everything's so sci-fi driven and mech driven.
It will be a fresh new start because when you said tech is
spaghetti
everything.
westerns don't need that much CGI.
Tech is everything. Superhero stuff is everything, and I'm not knocking it. We each have. For the eras, like I said, in the 60s, there was a lot of cowboy movies, right? And everything seems to be like an offset, a 30-year offset. Like in the 60s, they talked about cowboys. In the 80s, it was sci-fi. Like it was the thought of what the future would be, right? So now it's superheroes. Like I don't think the superhero genre is gonna go anywhere because there's so much source material. But also, I think there is a little bit of superhero fatigue, right? And I think, because they are like very closely linked, superhero and sci-fi.
So what if they do maybe like Hex again?
Jonah Hex?
Well, Jonah Hex again.
Yeah.
I mean, they had something on it, but I'm saying imagine they do something and keep it more Western.
If they did, why not do Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider
I was just gonna pop that out.
It's originally a Western.
But if they did, Slade, right? I forgot his
There's a lot of
full
superhero
name.
things that you could do that. You got Jonah Hex, you got Ghost Rider, you have Spawn. They could do Spawn.
Oh, the Gunslinger Spawn.
Yeah, remember the movie he on the horse? And Ghost Rider when he was on the horse in the course for Don Skeleton, that was awesome. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, how would you, let's say, start a Western boom now?
A Western boom now? You have to go with something that everyone knows.
But something that spawned other movies. Like, you think Young Guns, a remake of Young Guns, is due? Young Guns was a great movie, and it's all these westerns that we remember as kids. Billy the Gun, and Doc Hollywood. I mean, Billy the Kid, Billy the Gun. That's wrestling.
Yeah,
sorry,
Billy Gun.
Billy Gun.
Suck it. Anyway, Billy the Kid, Doc Hollywood, all of them. And remaking it again.
They have talked about. I've seen a few podcasts. Michael Rosenbaum does. A podcast where he interviewed separately. I think he interviewed Emilio Estevez, and then I can't think of his name from La Bamba. And said Lou Diamond Phillip. Thank you. That they had a working script, but they were looking for a backer, like, and that they would be willing to come back for it, and it would almost be like what you said, the good, the bad, the ugly, and then we are where, you know, it's a generational thing. Like, it's, you know, the young gun, it's no longer young guns because they're all 50 plus, 60 plus, right?
Oh, but you remake, you know,
but it's like the, you know, the newer generation of, like, you know, it's because when you talk about westerns, right?
So like old, like remaking old Clint Eastwood movies.
Well, in the westerns, it was like the late 1800s and early 1900s, right? So right, you know, so like it would be, you know, it would have to still be in that 1800, 1900s.
The migration of
I mean, they could. It'll be a period piece, but it's
they have. Here's where I'm going to get with this. Granted, we're talking about cinema and being in the big screen.
Yeah.
But in the small screen, they make a big boom. Because one of the biggest westerns that came out that had a few seasons, which was Westworld.
Westworld, yeah.
Well, Westworld had a sci-fi twist to it.
It had a sci-fi
Right,
twist
yeah.
to it, but the premise was going back in time and playing in that field, which is great.
Funny enough, that's what it was. That it was popular because there was a boom on Western, and they created this whole.
Now,
Well, I'll tell you
There's theme
about
park.
westerns, right? Kind of that Western feel, like that. Because again, if you look at these movies, right? You know, if we're going back to the original westerns, right? Like you said, the spaghetti westerns, right? And they're called spaghetti westerns because a lot of them were filmed in Italy,
Yes.
right? So,
I thought they just ate a lot of pasta.
that too, right? But you look at where the kind of, not just the genre, but the terrain. It was all about the expansion of the United States to the west, right?
Yeah.
So it's all middle America, right? What has that feel now, as far as a TV series, is all the Yellowstone. And all the
Yellowstone is one of them.
1883 was the prequel, and then 1923 was another prequel.
There's
A
Ransom-
new one that came out on
Ransom
Netflix
Canyon.
that's called American
Primeval?
Primeval, yeah.
Yeah.
Primeval. That one right there, I saw the first 3 episodes, and my God, bro.
So
like,
that
that's
would be-
immersive.
And it's placed in 1857.
Right. So those are the modern westerns. Is, you know,
Because
talking
The
about
Mandalorian is the modern Western.
Western in real life, the Western didn't last that long. It was like a 30-year stretch, a 20-year stretch. Really, that's what it really was. Like 30 years.
True life. You know,
True life.
Yeah.
While during the expansion, there was only like 30 years. It wasn't that long because they went from there, and then the Industrial Revolution happened.
Yeah, 'cause like I said,
Firefly?
it was the late 1800s to late 1800 to early 1920s, and then the Industrial Revolution, right? You know, so you're talking about like 1920, 1930 is like when everything's. That's where America was modernizing, right? You know, that's something that would be what I would think to go along the same lines as the westerns is, if, you know, because we're obviously talking about American cinema, you know, what about like the Dark Ages, like, you know, the expansion of Europe?
Oh, you're talking about like medieval times?
Yeah.
Or a little bit before medieval times,
Yeah.
after? That would be good.
I don't think they ever had a boom. They had movies,
Right,
But there was never like
Hold
a
up.
whole big deal. Like I said, like the way horror boomed at a
Right.
certain point. Sci-fi boomed that
Because, you know, you have like all the Robin Hoods that they have, and you know
they've had movies here and there, but never spawned so many like where it was considered a boom.
You know
Yeah.
that, yeah, exactly. But they do films, but we never really hear about it. So there's one from 2024 called The Unholy Trinity, and that has Samuel L. Jackson in it.
Yeah, that was his most recent one. Yeah,
That was the most recent
But
one.
doesn't that
Then-
have to deal with like magic and stuff like that?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I'm just reading.
I'm
off.
blanking. I'm
There's
blanking on
another one
the
called-
trailer. I did see
There's
something
there's
about
another
it.
one called Rust.
Rust, right?
Yeah,
2025.
look at just medieval stuff where it
And
was
then
just like
Gunslingers. That's 2025.
Yeah,
well, you know, you look at like maybe just like actual battles going on,
Right.
Fights, almost like a Game of Thrones thing, but without the dragons.
right. Because, you know, in that way you can go a few, because of, you know, American history. You know, happy birthday to us, 250 years,
Yep.
right? But like compared to Europe, like you're talking about thousands of years.
Well, 249, but almost
Yeah, 240, right?
next year.
Yeah. So you know you can go either like the Crusades. You can do medieval. You can talk about like you have Braveheart was kind of that that time. You can do something like that, and that's like it's like England, Scotland, Ireland, that type thing.
You know what I would like to see, like to see if anything in regards to like New Zealand, you know what I mean, and their stuff, because we really don't get to see a lot of their stuff.
Yeah, the only thing that I can.
So now you're talking about like movies that with particular cultures in them.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Because
I think a lot of cultures are more interested in the U.S. culture because again we're melting pot. So
if you talk about time, actual timeline, real life timeline.
Yeah, so let's say Western timeline. How would that be somewhere else?
Right, it was all the 1800s, 1900s.
It's funny enough because the Western timeline is unique to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
The Western is that's unique to the U.S.
Right.
No other country had a Western period,
and I think that's one of the things because it melds into history.
Although, okay, I will give a little bit of an argument for that. It was the 1800s everywhere.
It was, but the uniqueness of how the Western was here.
Like whatever countries expanded, and you say New Zealand and Australia, Australia was a penal colony. That's where they sent all the riffraff and all the criminals from Europe, and kind of like just exiled them. So you can see how they developed as a continent.
But because you look at it, because when you look at a 1800s period piece from like Europe, let's say England, it's completely different than 1800s in the U.S.
Right, because they were already established and they had kind of like the monarchy. And
this country was still young.
The Victorian, for them, it was the Victorian age.
Yeah.
Right. So the Western age for us was the Victorian age.
But that's why Westerns are so unique. It's so unique because it's American. It's something that we had that happened here that didn't happen anywhere else.
But I mean, I think that would play in New Zealand and Australia because you're talking about an expansion of the territory. So I mean, like they obviously had what we would consider a cow. They had cowboys, cattle ranchers, everything.
They had gun laws by then.
Yeah,
we didn't.
But it was cattle ranchers and stuff like that.
We were still trying to figure out
living off the earth. Living off your environment, the land,
and but hunting, gathering, farming.
Australia.
But this is what I feel because like. The spreading of Europe was different. The expansion of Europe was different than here. Because even when Columbus came around, let's say, and went into the
West Indies,
and they were all there when we went to Puerto Rico and DR. And
that's something I would want to see.
It was an expansion that's not like a Western. It wasn't like a Western.
It may confuse people. It was colonialism, but it was also conquering. It was for the Western expansion wasn't necessarily conquering. It was just expansion.
No, it was conquering.
It was conquering, but it wasn't their. It wasn't their.
Don't forget who was here before then.
Right, but it wasn't their main focus. Yeah. When Europe expanded, it was their focus of conquering lands and. Their focus for expansion was conquering.
Makes it different.
Wasn't discovery.
Okay, and that's what makes it different.
Yeah.
Plus, with their expansions, we've had, if you want to say, the expansion here during the Western era.
Right.
We've had what you would say more technology. We're more advanced here than in other nations.
As far as weaponry. Okay, that makes sense because we had Winchesters and
fucking guns, and all this, all this stuff that it was around the world at that time.
But that's part of the Industrial Revolution of like, bingo. Okay, the gold rush, the expansion west.
That would be a movie to make, call it Gold Rush, you know. But
Gold Rush.
I just gotta say this though. I did not know Clint Eastwood was still filming because I see a movie.
He's 90-something, 94, 96, something like that.
2021, he did Cry Macho. And
Yes,
I
he
never
did.
heard that before. I'm looking at
He
like
did two.
films.
He did two movies in the same like 5 year period. Cry Macho was one, and there was I can't remember. There was two of them. One was where he was a smuggler, like he helped smuggle people across, and there was another one where he was like
Three Amigos.
Was it Jackal?
no, damn, I can't think of what the other one was.
No, you said smuggler. He smuggled people. It was like a jackal,
Kind of. It's
or smuggled some type of people in a different way.
See, look,
But that's what I'm saying. It's what made the Western unique to the U.S. is the way it was done.
yeah.
You know, like you said, our type of expansion wasn't necessarily the same type that was done in Europe.
Well, I'll tell you this much. You know, speaking about westerns, you know which one I would like to see remade and done because I enjoy that movie so much. Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yeah.
well, that was part of the trilogy of Desperado.
Desperado.
And,
Yeah. It was other, but dude, I love those movies. But you know what? Fistful of Dollars could be another one. See, a lot of the movies that I think Clint Eastwood has done, and I think who was the other?
So you're saying is that we're due for a Western boom in this country when it comes
Okay,
to
so
movies.
Cry
Possibly.
Macho, and then the other one was The Mule, which was
The Mule.
2018.
'Cause
Right.
it like you said, there's a presence for it on shows. It's on the
Yeah.
small screen.
Yeah.
But there hasn't really been a presence of it on the big screen for a long time.
Well, they not in the sense of a boom, but there's still sprinkles of it here and there. Like I said, the Unholy Trinity, the Rust, and now Gunslingers, right? And I want to see Gunslingers because I remember seeing the trailer for it. So, yeah, man, that's
Nick Cage.
that's
Nick Cage is in it. Heather Graham's in it. Jeez.
so you know,
Stephen Dorff is in it. Oh, interesting.
So there's potential. It's just a matter of does the American audience want that? Because remember the palette has changed according to the melting pots that we bring in. So now things are different.
It is different, but I'm thinking of a way of like we said, like the booms that we had, because the '80s also saw a rise in raunchy comedies.
Right.
There were so many movies of raunchy comedies.
Yeah, all the B movies,
all these B
Porky's,
movies, yeah.
all I can't.
You got Meatball, you got Hot
Meatball,
Dog,
right.
You have from the late '70s with Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Do you remember the early 2000s where overseas martial arts movies was making a resurgence, and it wasn't from Hong Kong, it was from Thailand, and
Yeah.
that's where Bak and
yeah,
Tony
the
Jaa's
Hitman,
character,
all that.
Yeah, so like we need a resurgence of that too, because that was a part of the culture growing up too.
So-called kung fu movies.
The so-called kung fu movies, which is all fantasy. That we know, like hot, sharp, or Five Deadly Venoms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would like to see a remake of Five Deadly Venoms.
That's what I'm talking about. See, like now you mentioned it like that. I'm talking about resurgence of a boom of these movies that you see sprinklings here and there, but you really haven't seen where it's like, oh, this movie became so popular, it spawned
like 10 other movies.
10 other different type
Right,
of movies, but they're
like
all
a
the same
progenitor,
genre.
like it what sparks the interest in the genre, and
Yeah.
it expands it.
And it expands it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned that. But yeah, you got another one, which is the kung fu
style movies. Yeah. Now, here's another thing that I did not know, but it's a part of our conversation. I didn't know the Book of Eli is considered a Western.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was
and I
a
see-
post-apocalyptic. Western.
Post-apocalypse Western.
Yeah.
Now, we could have that, but something different in that regards. But then, would it be considered Mad Max, or would it be considered Western?
No, because well,
all of the Mad Max movie was like dystopian future, like society collapse, right? Which is post-apocalyptic, but it's almost insulated by the fact it was like it's those movies are more. I think it's the stylization of those movies is in itself, it's its own bubble, where like you said, Book of Eli,
yeah.
where it's like, okay, now they're trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world with the, you know, like with trying to recreate the framework of what society used to be, where Mad Max is like, we forgot about society altogether.
It says here, good old Gemini says that Mad Max could be considered a Western.
See?
Just like the Book of Eli, a post-apocalyptic Western.
Right.
Because instead of having horses, they have chariots, and their chariots is cars, and you know, water is always, you know, the fuel for everything. And here, gas.
It's what brings life.
Gas.
Right? Yeah.
Gas is what brings you to the next spot.
It's interesting. I mean, there's
but the split.
But those are the sub genres we talked about before. You know, where it's like you said, cowboys and aliens, where it's a Western, but then you have that sci-fi
effect.
It's a subgenre because it's split.
You know what would be good, and it would be nice if it had some type of true elements to it. Doing another version of or a remake of Sandlot. Have it where current players, but it's not what we think it is. It's not the American Sandlot. It will probably be something like in Dominican Republic or whatever. You know, you have a lot of these baseball players gathering up there to come to the States for a new opportunity and stuff like that, and then making it.
Yeah, because
it would be, if you're gonna go that route, it would be, you know, you think about them growing up as kids and aspiring to be ball players. So it would be, The Sandlot really is more of a movie about the kids growing up as opposed to
in that time period,
right? Growing up in that time period, as opposed to it being just about baseball.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying instead of it like. There's one person who always wants to make it, and in Sandlot there was one person who
Benny
made
the
it.
Jet Rodriguez.
There you go.
Of course. And
So-
the guy telling the story was the announcer.
The announcer, yeah, exactly. So, you know, something like that, you know, but it would be cool if it was done with true events in that aspect. You know what I mean? Because there's something that's based on true events, and a lot of things was embellished. I don't know if this one had any, the original one had any inkling to it, but I think the most important part was making it relatable to kids. And I think the reason why we relate to Sandlot so much is because we didn't have, you know, phones. We didn't have no way to call each other.
When we were kids, we still were in that
Right.
that pocket where
that's where
it
I'm
was
gonna
like
say, because
come home when the lights when the street lights come on.
Come on,
I don't want to shoot down the idea, but I'm gonna say that that the magic of those movies for us, I think, is the fact, like Joey said, we played outside and so on. I don't think they could suspend it, like take away the current day out of.
No, that's why I say take it to a place like the Dominican Republic or whatever. Because, yeah, granted, they got smartphones and stuff, but they always have a goal to make it out there, right? And a lot of kids, they will go and play, and they'll have their own things that they want to do, and then have them grow up.
I mean, you're talking about deep in the campos. Yeah.
But, I mean, it'll be a Sandlot, but it won't be the same type.
It won't be the same type.
Because, again, it was a coming-of-age story kind of deal, the Sandlot.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that, Stand By Me, all that was, you know, they went to see a dead body, but it wasn't really just about their body. It was more about the journey and the way that connection can't be made anymore.
Okay.
The gangster genre.
Okay. Yeah, you know what I was going to get. It's gangster genre.
Because about this, you know, yeah.
You got the mafia movies, the spaghetti, you know, style. Like, okay, yeah, Tony, go take care of the body type shit. And then you got this. This is the thing that I think that should be made. It's still a comedy, right? And there's two of them. Encino Man, right? Yeah, I got Joey. And the second one is
bring back Pauly Shore movies.
Yeah. Oh, Pauly Shore did a trailer. I seen the trailer for a new movie. You're gonna like
really?
it. Yes.
Pauly Shore. He hasn't. Funny enough, I follow him on TikTok. He hasn't announced it because he has his own band.
No.
Yeah,
dude. I want to see it. I want to take Penelope. I want you to come with me, and you coming too, because you're definitely gonna do this. You're definitely gonna watch it with us. Basically, he's a dad in the trailer, and he's taking his daughter to do stuff, right? But he's flat ass broke, so he has to take her on an adventure. So instead of going to a water park, he had to go to a car wash. That's the example I'm giving you.
Dude.
That's it. That's the trailer. That's the trailer.
Pauly Shore has a band called Pauly Shore and the Crusties.
And the
Yeah,
Crusties.
the Crusties.
And they come out. The funny thing is with him, they come out and go, "Oh, he's a dick in person." I go, "Yeah." Pauly Shore didn't act; he just acted like himself in those movies.
It was just him. Yeah.
I was but it's like people meeting him now, like, "Oh," I think if I would meet him,
we'll have a conversation.
I would have a fucking. It'll be another story that we'll add on to our thing.
Absolutely.
If we meet him, because we know how he acts, so we're gonna play off of that.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, that's going off on a tangent.
So that movie, and then another one, which is a two-parter, right? Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh yeah, it's a comedy
That's a comedy.
You could do.
It's a Weekend at Bernie's, because you remember
they have
how
a 1 and 2,
they have a 1 and 2, right? 2 was funnier than 1.
and they had there was technology involved and everything else, but it's just how. Well, I mean, it depends on what they're gonna. I mean,
yeah, I'm just saying. Imagine with our technology now, how would a Weekend at Bernie's play out?
Technology in terms of what we have in society,
In society
or
and
just
everything.
special effects.
In society, not so much special effects, because the thing is this: not much special effects. It needs to have a guy play dead.
I mean, it was more slapstick comedy kind of, right? So that's the whole thing. It was almost if you want to connect it to something very old school, and we could probably wrap up on this and keep going on another podcast. Is Weekend at Bernie's was almost like Charlie Chaplin.
Yes,
because it was situational slapstick of like having to carry him around and like put him in situation,
shove him in the box.
You think America is ready for another boom of vaudeville comedy?
Oh my god,
bro! Basically, that's what it was.
Yeah,
because I mean, like everything Charlie Chaplin was like, like pratfalls and slapstick and everything, right?
See,
that's
and slapstick will speak to the younger generation before it reaches like the teens and stuff like that. Because the teens, they're like, "Oh man, that's corny, this, that, and the third." But the young kids, they get slapstick with cartoons. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's gonna be hard to take kids. Yeah, what's wrong with him, Dad? He's dead, son. And you
know what's funny? That's my father was cracking up watching this. Weekend at Bernie's, and me and my father will watch it, and I think part of the reason was my father was high, most of the time, but we would watch it,
watch the movies
and I'm like this, Dad, what happened to him? Oh, he died, because I literally asked that question, because me being a curious kid, I'm like, what happened? I don't get it. He's like, oh, he's dead. I'm like, oh, so they shoving him around.
Yeah,
it's funny, man. You talk about that. Talking about stuff like that, and you talk about high, and you got we forget about the Pothead movies.
Generations. Dude, How High, fucking.
We're talking about
Dazed and Confused.
Before that,
Cheech and Chong.
The Cheech and Chong movies. Don't forget that.
Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke.
And then talking about a big, which I didn't know they made a movie. I had to watch it. They made a movie recently, Cheech and Chong.
Well,
the last movie,
it was almost like it was almost like a doc. It was almost like a documentary.
It's called The Last Movie.
Yeah, it was almost like a documentary, docu-mockery or something. Whatever.
But there's a Pothead movie that they're actually making another one, and it's something that I went to see in the movie theaters. That I don't know, man. I loved it every single time, and. Harold and Kumar.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Harold and Kumar with a White Castle.
And they're making another one.
Oh shit! Let's go.
They're making another one. Just to mention it, they're making another one. They talked to the guys. They were like, "Yeah, we're planning on making another one."
It's about time.
I'm like, "Oh my god!" But the movie showed them growing up. They were potheads, so now they had families. In the last one,
yeah,
and it was so strange, man.
But dude, where's my car?
Dude, where's my car?
I mean, if you go, okay, there's a good example, and I'm surprised you didn't bring this up because you're a fan of the production company. What was the Jay and Silent Bob? reboot where it was
Okay,
his
the Ash
daughter.
Universe, yeah.
Yeah, where his daughter.
Yoga Hosers.
Yeah,
it was
Hosers.
his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter.
Yeah, that were. I mean, no, but there was one where there was still, it was still Jay and Silent Bob, but the daughter was in the movie.
Oh, she turned out to be Jay's daughter. In the
Right.
movie. Yeah, the reboot. It's called Jay's Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because you had the Jersey trilogy with
Clerks.
with Clerks,
mm-hmm.
the Canadian trilogy with Yoga Hosers. Tusk is another one.
Right.
And Tusk was a horror movie.
Yeah.
And you
man.
go into
Red
that.
State.
You get Red State was a fucking amazing movie, and was funny. It was serious. It's a movie that he made, a serious movie. One of the serious movies that he made.
Okay.
That actually turned out to be good because the other one he made, I think it was not Jersey Girl. Was it Jersey Girl? I think it was Jersey Girl.
Now with the recent acquisition of Fox from Disney, right? Do you think that it's time for them to do another sci-fi film, Independence Day remake?
A third one?
No, not a third one, a remake. Because the second one didn't do good at all.
Right.
Second
So
one didn't do it. That's why I don't think they
so a
did it.
reimagining of what the premise of the first one.
Premise of the first one was. Or you think they'll just leave it dead in the water? Because if you remember the trailer to Predator Hunting Grounds, I'm sorry, Bad Blood, it's in the trailer.
Yeah,
It's in the
skull.
trailer. So you see the skull there for that same alien from Independence Day. And that's something they like to do as Easter eggs and stuff like that. Nothing really into the lore, but I think that's something that needs to be redone as well. But yeah, guys, it's that time of the show where we wrap up and go home, and you guys,
another long one today, but that's because we missed out a week.
yeah, we missed out a week, but we also have our own tangents, but we're spreading our ideas, and this is this was a great talk because we got to touch base on older podcasts that if you haven't watched, you could go watch right now or listen to, and enjoy your drive or whatever it is that you're doing. Have a good laugh. Engage with us when you can. If you're driving, I recommend you don't write in the comments until you park. But next week we will be talking about Superman maybe.
Yeah.
We might see it
Because
Yeah.
I'm seeing it Thursday.
Oh, it's coming out this weekend, so whether we set it up for this weekend and we'll see it. But we like you said, we have to go through Ironheart. And then
Predator, Killer of Killers.
Killers.
That's
right.
on Hulu.
Yeah.
And Superman. So if we could knock out those three things for next week, that will be the show for next week, and we could legitimately talk about that and give you guys another amazing show. But with that being said, I am one of three, Loco Lou,
Keith Stash.
And I got a pickle on my shirt. Just Joe.
and we will catch you on the next smoke. All right, peace.